Russ Clark live in Mortgage One studio. Dean showed up this morning. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Thought I'd try a Friday and see how it worked out.
How are you? Good. And I had Greg coming in also, but I don't know. I don't know if he's going to come still or not. I don't know. Like Derek said, he's retired. He can do what he wants.
Yeah.
I think we all are.
Well, I think that's it. I mean, I've mentioned before that we now have a class of people in this country that, because of retirement, because of IRAs, 401ks, just building a successful business, whatever, they're essentially independent means. They don't have to work.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that means that you have an independent class of people that aren't beholden to someone else, and they can make their views known freely and without worry of retribution.
I'm assuming you're the same. You don't have to work.
Right. Yeah, that's correct.
You write because you like to.
It's a passion. It's an addiction. I mean, I feel compelled to write. If I don't get some work done just about every day, I don't feel right. It's almost like a physical addiction. You get a little shaky, if you just get an article out, well, then sort of calms things down.
Yeah.
But it's a good addiction.
You're addicted then.
To writing. Yes.
To writing. Well, Greg did show up. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Yeah, it's right on time.
Yeah, it is on time. So you've been, Greg, you've been following the Strait of Hormuz?
I have.
Is it open?
I would say for certain ships, I don't think it's completely open.
Yeah.
No, not yet. But I think
usually 100 a day go through there, and they did like 10.
Yeah, I know. I think we'll see what happens on Saturday, when Vance and the crew sit down and talk to whoever's in charge.
Expectations?
Not high.
Yeah.
Not high.
I don't think the Iranians are well noted for telling the truth.
No, they have a track record.
Yes, they do. But I don't know. Does that mean everything goes back to where we were, bombing 1,000 a day?
It may. I don't know if it'll go back to that, but one of the things I talked to you about is about this thing about this war crimes. War crimes.
Yeah.
Well, that's all a bunch of garbage. The only thing, and being in the military, you have to know a little bit about the laws of warfare and stuff. And so there are some targets that are considered war crimes for certain circumstances, and that's schools, hospitals, non-combatants, and churches. Those are normally considered war crimes. However, these terrorists have changed a lot of that, and they start using hospitals, churches, and schools to hide their munitions, to work out of, and stuff like that. If that happens, then those become valid targets. They do.
And that's what happened with Israel and Gaza. In fact, they're driving ambulances.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And those aren't war crimes if they're, if they're upset. And, this thing about saying, oh, it's a war crime if you do a power plant. Well, that's the first thing you do when you're attacking or whatever a country is you take out their lines of communication, you take out their power utilities, you take out their bridges, so you fix them in place and they can't travel, from place to place. Those are actually primary targets. You suppress their defense, and then you go after the primary targets to cut them down.
The Pope said it was potentially a war crime.
No, the Pope has no understanding of the laws of warfare.
What about Nancy Pelosi?
Even less. She needs to go back to the drink.
She just tweeted yesterday that Congress needs to get together with the 25th Amendment and get rid of
Congress. Congress has nothing to do with 25th Amendment. That's the cabinet. So,
I know, but they put it out there to put pressure on so that J.D. Vance says, oh my gosh, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like that's going to happen.
Man, that guy's lost his mind. It was suggested that she does it just to keep softening up the expectations that they're going to go to an impeachment.
No, she did it so the Democrats can get more contributions for their campaigns.
That too.
That's what I believe, because there's no one I mean, I've heard Fetterman and who's the one, the black guy, Smith, is that his last name?
I can't remember.
Yeah, but he's on. It's like there's no way that they're going to get the votes to go to
no,
go to impeachment in the
Well,
House, and then
they're
60
talking like
votes in the
after
Senate.
midterms are going to, they've already got it counted that they're going to win, and they might.
Well, yeah, it's a might every year, but we'll just have to see.
I mean,
what goes on.
historically, the incumbent loses seats.
Yeah,
On the
historically.
average, that's what happened. There's been some exceptions.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. But yeah, so
And in Iran, we don't really know exactly who's in charge. There's different factions within even the IRGC, I think
IRGC,
IRGC.
yeah, independent.
And there's there's hardliners and then there's really hardliners. So and then they don't always agree with each other, and because the leadership has been basically wiped out, most of the top
Right.
leadership. So who decides between two factions which gets their way? And that's exactly what this is designed to do in part, is you get enough factions and then hopefully somebody comes out on top who's a little more reasonable and can agree to some of the things you want done.
Yeah, and you got the struggle going on between the mullahs, the Ayatollah, the mullahs, and the IRGC commanders now.
Yeah.
because so
So
many of
you've
them
been
are
watching
dead.
that. That's not really hitting the mainstream much.
No,
You have to, I guess, search a little bit to find that kind of information.
Yeah.
But there's been cities taken over right now in Iran by some people kicking out the guard.
Mhm.
And I don't know. I watch it. I think is it Tosi? Is that the
Tusi TV.
Tusi? Tusi.
Well, I call him Tusi. I think that's the way you pronounce
I think
it.
I think that's what he calls himself. So it must
Yeah.
be right.
but we'll see. I think and I think these guys that they're talking to have been left alive because they thought maybe that they could talk to them. But if this breaks down, I think that's off.
It looks like a little bit of a civil war type activity. Who knows if it spreads or
Well, and the human intelligence, I mean, the people are against them. So the people are
right.
informing where these commanders are, and they're watching for them. The Israelis had that thing with the pagers where they blew up the pagers and killed all these people.
Yeah.
Well, my understanding is that in Lebanon, the Israelis got wind of a Zoom call that was being held between 100 different the leaders of Hezbollah in Iran. And when they went on the Zoom call, the Israelis, you can track an IP address, that they tracked an IP address, and within 10 minutes, they had bombs on target at 100 different targets.
Within 10 minutes.
That shows an incredible amount of coordination.
Exactly.
I mean, that's a very high level.
Yeah.
They said that is the biggest attack they've had since the pager incident.
Yeah. And, Mossad is very good. Obviously, our CIA is pretty good, when they pulled the pilots out, and they didn't say how many troops we put on the ground. I've heard as high as 300, and had 300 troops on the ground to secure the area. And that's just the number that I've heard, but I know they put some in, but CIA was able to really work. They did the deception. The deception, which worked on a lot of people in the U.S., much less the Iranians.
If you're going to be effective,
The journalists ran with it.
Exactly.
Some of them.
It's on Facebook. It was all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was, I mean, some really amazing things have happened.
I would assume Trump has something going on we don't know about, or he would just say enough of it, because they're not opening the straits. They're not doing the things he said were required.
Yeah.
And he's not one to just back off. He doesn't. I mean, I know they call him Taco.
Yeah.
Trump always chickens out.
Well, that's
ridiculous.
It's just silly. It's just counterfactual.
Yeah. But ceasefires are always messy, always you put a ceasefire in place, is the first thing you think about is it going to hold or not?
Right.
And so everybody's watching. Nobody's really stood down. Now some of the pilots are getting some crew rest, and they're refitting and rearming, and
but that strait needs to open up. The strait seems to be the biggest deal that you can't be patient for. The world economy counts on it.
Yeah.
My understanding is that it was China at least, that actually got with Iran and said, do the ceasefire, because they didn't want to.
Yeah.
And many factions still didn't want to. That's the ones that are rebelling a little bit.
Yeah.
I've heard rumors of that, but I don't know that there's any way to easily affirm it. I mean, it sounds like it's probably in the interest of China, so it has some credibility.
Yeah. And that now they're trying to figure out if the strait's mined, if it's mined, because they're making the routes that they're making the tankers take are going way up north around this little island instead of through the main channel.
In fact, they're not going through the international waters.
Right.
They're going up into territorial waters of Iran, and that's where they're being directed by Iran.
Yeah.
I guess they got to pay their toll.
Yeah.
Rumors are it's about $1 a barrel, which 2 million barrels.
2 million. 2 million a ship. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good toll. And it's nice because there's no overhead. You don't have to run the locks.
Yeah, I think that might be more than the insurance cost. I wonder.
Oh,
yeah. Well, the insurance companies apparently are the big part. Right now, there's 3,200 vessels that are backlogged that are setting on the out inside the Gulf that can't get out, and there's 800 of those that are tankers. Rest are other kinds of ships and stuff, but 800 of them. Tankers and cargo ships between the two of them. So at some point, they got to let it loose, or the economy is really. I mean, we're getting hit a little bit. Yeah, but there's other countries that have had to ration, that have had to back off, closed a lot of things in order to save on gas because they just don't have it, and it's not coming.
Well, what it shows you is that Iran, if they can make this kind of thing stick, they can extort the entire world.
Yeah.
And so are you willing to
Dean, that's
bow down to that blackmail, or are you going to stop it?
I think many European countries are willing to bow down.
Well, I think the Arab countries are biting. I mean, they're ready to go, and I think they're just holding back because Trump is asking.
I think the United Arab. Well, is it United Arab Emirates?
UAE, Qatar, Saudi. Yeah, they're all. I mean, they were shooting missiles at them, and they were planning on staying out of this thing.
And those guys have defensive capabilities, offensive capabilities.
Yeah, we have reports of one of those islands being hit by UAE, and the UAE just has kept silent. But the aircraft uses a very specific type of French Mirage that the only other place it exists and still used is France, and we're pretty sure France didn't do it.
My son was actually stationed there. In order to work on the F-16 programs, because they have F-16s.
Okay.
And he was there for observance of maintenance or something. They, the Air Force sends personnel there to help logistically train them and how to handle that kind of stuff. He hated it.
Yeah. Facebook's not coming up the show. Somebody said so.
Oh, it's not?
Yeah. You have one of those ONOFF buttons.
It says I'm live on Facebook. It does. It says I'm live.
Okay. All right.
The only one that I'm having trouble with is that other television station.
Oh, okay.
QCUE.
Yeah.
Other than that, it shows I'm live, and I've got people on.
Okay.
Are you
Facebook.
Is the show on YouTube as well?
It's on YouTube, it's on Facebook, and it's on X. It's not on that television place.
Okay.
That one I'm having trouble with.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's there. Someone told me that the other day that they couldn't get it. It was Sandy.
Yeah.
That I was broadcasting, and she said it didn't come up.
Yeah.
I think Facebook wants me to pay something.
They're all like, are they Iranians?
Yeah, maybe. I think so.
I don't see it on there,
but you can pay to have preferential spaces and stuff like that, so it pops up more often.
Right.
Maybe I'll look into that.
Yeah.
Because some people have complained to me like, you're not on today, and I said, no, it's out there. It's broadcasting right now. But they can't. A lot of times it alerts people that have subscribed, but sometimes it doesn't. And I think that's me not paying.
Maybe so. I think it's because you draw users to it, they should pay you.
Oh, maybe.
Well, that's what my thought too. I mean, it seems like
really,
you're providing
we get
content.
a cut too, right?
At some point, yeah, you do. At some point they do, but that you have to become a
A
Big time.
big time.
Oh, yeah,
Millions of followers.
I don't think
You're
I'm going to hit that
You're
one.
not quite there yet.
I'm not Joe Rogan. It's not going to happen.
I was looking to see how many followers you have, but anyway.
Yeah, 20, 30.
From what I have seen, the amount you get has been going per follower has been going down and down and down.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, earlier on, you got a little bit of money for, you know, if you had 10,000, 100,000.
Oh, did you? And then
That's my
stopped paying.
understanding, and it's just been decreasing and decreasing. That's the way I understand it.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are the influencers, I guess. Is that the right term?
Right. Well, yeah, once you hit a
Influencers.
certain level.
Yeah. That I think there's just so many now that they don't need to pay them anymore.
Oh, no, a lot of them get paid. In fact,
Yeah.
and if you listen to a lot of the military shows, they say, well, we can't show it to you because we wouldn't get paid. They knock them off.
Well, and there's, of course, advertisers. So
Yeah.
you can get some money.
A lot of
And,
them are doing that.
I'm not sure how much each individual show gets per
Mhm.
advertiser.
Yeah.
I think they tend to not get very much, but if they get bigger and bigger, they can cut a better deal.
We got George Braun on the line. Good morning, George.
Actually, they kind of work as it's like protection racket. If you don't give me something for free, I'll give you a bad review to my Umpty Scrunch followers. That's one of the weird things.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I can earn
hey,
our bad review all by myself. What's up?
yeah, easily, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, tomorrow they're going to have a celebration of life for one of our best guests, David Keene, at the Grand Masonic Temple in Alexandria.
Oh,
The George Washington one. This is a really spectacular venue for this. And he was a pretty spectacular guy. I mean, he founded the American Conservative Union, the Conservative Political Action Conference, was president of the National Rifle Association. That's how I met him when we had him on the show the first time, and then continuing editor of the editorial page for the Washington Times. So you're not going to see another one like him for a while.
Yeah.
Old school. The only he died of pancreatic cancer. We didn't find that out till he passed, but which is a death sentence once you get it. But one of the great things was on the Friday before he passed on Sunday. He just rallied, and I got to talk to him for about an hour on the phone, and then he was calling everybody. And then he went into a coma on Saturday afternoon, and he was gone Sunday. So anyway, so hold on to those friends and family and everybody else, because you never know how long you're going to get to keep them.
Yeah.
So anyway, I did get a thing of eggs for you guys to auction
okay.
off.
You're a good man.
Okay.
Good man, George.
So I'll put those in the mail. And I think Madison got her eggs. And so, anyway, it's been a lot of fun. You can't buy them now. I think you can get them on eBay for a couple $100 now. I mean, the price went right through the ceiling once they ran out online at the Historical Society. I haven't been able to get them at stores for a while. So anyway, all right, everybody have a great weekend, and I'm going to take off.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thanks,
Take care.
George.
So you're saying we're having a trouble. I just edited some stuff.
Yeah.
I just took out the one that was causing problems.
Okay.
But I show that there's listeners on. There's people that thrown me some likes and stuff. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, we got people on. We got people listening.
Okay.
You saw it was frozen on your phone?
No, I just don't see it. That's
Okay. Well, it's we definitely have something getting in. Maybe your wife didn't pay her bill or something.
Yeah, something like that. Well, I can't get it on my phone though either, so I don't know.
Yeah, and it is on YouTube, and I've got people on YouTube, and I got a lot of people asking me questions about things we're talking about.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
And you still wonder, how much might be, well, we'll just cut out a certain number of listeners, or we'll
Yeah.
throttle it back,
but I don't doubt it.
I mean, it's
I don't
happened to
know.
other places. I'm not saying it is happening, but you wonder about that kind of thing.
Oh, I got it now. It's on. It's
One of the
on now.
listeners says the Israelis are not really our friends. We are more of a useful tool to them. I remember the USS Liberty and the Apollo affair. I don't remember. I remember the Liberty.
and the Apollo affair. I don't remember that.
It
Doesn't strike.
I think it's the biggest friend we've got in in that
Oh,
area.
yeah, by far.
Well, you could reverse that and it would be equally true.
Yeah.
You know, nations tend to have allies for reasons, and we get a lot from the Israelis and they get a lot from us.
Yeah. Well, in 1978, Iran was one of our great allies.
Yes, it was.
there. Yeah. And we had, I mean, they were buying all of our military stuff. We had all
Oh
kinds
yeah.
of tech reps and people over there. It was a modern
until-
society.
Up until a month ago, they were still flying at U.S. planes.
Yeah.
Well, I had friends in college who had
Yeah.
worked over there teaching English to
Yeah.
Iranians.
Yeah. And we had the class ahead of me in Hawk School in El Paso at Fort Bliss. Iranian students were going through the school there.
Mhm.
Yeah. Going through school at the Army base there, Fort Bliss. So, yeah.
That's been a long
Now,
time ago.
is-
Now it's been 50 years.
Yeah.
So
Is Israel, are we probably a bigger, better partner than Israel is to us? Well, probably, but that's the way we are with everybody because
Yeah. I
you
would
know.
say we get more out of Israel than we do out of NATO.
Oh, yes.
At
10
least
10
this-
times.
This conflict shows that more than almost any other.
Well, the biggest thing with NATO is not that they would directly get involved in the military action, but that they wouldn't let us use their bases or their airspace.
Yeah.
Actually, the bases that we pay for.
Right.
And yeah, they said, no, you can't launch planes out of there to attack out of there.
And I'm trying to think what their justification is.
I think they're just afraid, afraid that Iran or all the Muslims that they have in the
Yeah,
in
that's
their
what I was
country
thinking.
would
The
attack them.
millions of Muslim immigrants that they've gotten in the last
Yeah.
few years.
Yeah, because as we all know, the UK, England's in pretty rough shape with all the immigrants, illegal immigrants or legal.
Yeah,
immigrants,
legal
whatever
and
they are.
illegal, both of them.
Yeah, and then I heard the number one name for birth
new
name was
Boy is
was
Muhammad,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And the people who have lived there, have been families there for tens and hundreds of years, thousands of years, are not happy with it.
no, they're
And
not.
none of the politicians that, at least in elected office, seem to be willing to actually do anything.
Mhm.
And
And
it's amazing.
Yep, and you have very weak prime minister, and
Yeah.
and, yeah. So anyway,
it does. The England, though, I guess United Kingdom, the prime minister was down in. He was in. He was near Strait of Hormuz. He was somewhere around
Saudi
there.
Arabia, I think. I thought.
So Saudi Arabia, yeah, that sounds about right. Saudi Arabia complaining like, well, we're in a ceasefire right now, like,
yeah,
and he's done zero.
I know. Well,
Yeah, I
He's
think
down there to help with the negotiations. There's still a lot of work to do.
He said something like, "We got a ceasefire," and the response was, "What we, Team Wasabi?"
yeah, I know.
Yeah, but that takes chutzpah. Yeah,
Well, yeah,
and Trump has been bashing him. He's ready to pull out of NATO, at least emotionally. I don't know he's ever said he's going to. But
Well, it would take a treaty change,
take
but
Congress.
there's plenty
Yeah.
of things that Trump can do. He can
Yeah.
move
Oh.
troops around. He can remove equipment.
I like David Hansen's, Victor David Hansen's answer to it. He says, "Oh, don't pull out. Just become Canada. Say, okay, we're Canada. We'll give as
Yeah,
much
yeah.
as they do."
Yeah, I saw that too. I thought
Exactly.
Hansen is a great intellect. He puts out great stuff.
well,
Yeah.
that goes, with the UN and NATO. And,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we carry those organizations. so,
Quit giving so much and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully I hope we take Hansen's idea because it's a lot less controversial.
Well, and I think Hansen said, well, NATO countries want us to give a lot of help to Ukraine in resisting the Russian invasion. But now when we're asking for a little help elsewhere, it's, well, see you later, guys.
I worry about Ukraine, though. I mean, they're bombing power plants in Russia. I think that's war crimes.
Well, only if you ask the Pope, and it depends. It depends where you're sitting at the time.
Yeah.
I saw somebody who wrote, I thought with a fair amount of knowledge, that when Obama was bombing Libya, that the media was pretty silent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we
because
took out
he's a
power
Democrat.
plants. Yeah, we took out power plants and all kinds of things. Because we helped France and Chad. Is that right?
Right.
Yeah,
I'm not up on that one, but
And then in the Falklands, we helped England.
Yeah.
They couldn't get the
and
logistics done.
Libya
Yeah.
was pretty much quiet. They had given up their nuclear program,
Right.
Mhm.
and Gaddafi was basically working with us. And then for whatever reason, and it seemed to me that Hillary Clinton ginned it up, but
Who knows?
suddenly we decided to take them out. And the message that gets sent to all the rest of the world, and similar here with Iran, is if you don't have nukes, the big powers don't respect you.
Yeah.
On a side note here, I saw this article and it bothers me because I've been talking about it for years. The United States Postal Service.
Right.
I've been talking about years that they're losing money, and of course people say, well, they can't lose money. They're a private business. It doesn't cost the taxpayers, which has been a lie.
Right. That's not true.
They've been subsidized by the
Yes.
government.
It's a quasi independent company. I think
Yeah.
was it Carter that did that?
It's semi-private.
Okay. Well, they just made a move. They stopped paying their retirement or pension program, the Federal Employees Retirement System, the pension program.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
They-
not that they're stopping their pensions. They're stopping contributing
correct.
to
That's
the
correct.
pension fund that they're required to, and it's temporary.
They're still going to give the pension fund the part that they take out of the paychecks, their
okay.
share,
Yeah.
but not the share that comes from the company, the corporation. They're just going to cut it off. And it's going to be, if they do that for this year, they'll save $2.5 billion in cash flow. So if a private business decides to do that to Social Security and say, well, we just can't afford to pay our share this year, I don't think the government says, that's fine with me.
No, I don't think so. But I guess U.S. Postal Service, that used to be as I knew it, used to be a very lucrative retirement benefit. I'm not sure if it is anymore.
Oh, I get the impression it is. I know I have quite a few friends that are over there working that they're looking forward to that.
This particular program is kind of like a 401k, my understanding. Sort of like the TSP program. May actually be part of the TSP program, but I don't think so because of the quasi-private nature of the post office. So it's more like a 401k. So the workers can contribute a certain amount, and then there's matching funds that would come from the Postal Service.
Okay.
What they're doing is they're stopping the matching funds.
Right. Which you can't do if you're a private business.
No, I think it might go to the courts right away.
Well,
We'll see.
the people that collect the money is the Office of Personnel Management, who oversees federal retirement accounts.
Okay.
So they're still in the federal system, even if it's not.
Maybe it is part of the TSP, Thrift Savings Program.
Well,
I don't know.
Guess how much, and then Dean, I'll ask you, but guess how much money the Postal Service has lost since 2007?
Oh, that's a long time.
20 years.
20 years.
Yeah. Since in the last 20 years,
100 billion.
you're very close, 118.
Wow.
you thought you were being ridiculous, right?
No, I thought
Well,
that's might be a little high, but it's probably,
Yeah.
I mean, it's 20 years. That's a long time.
But I keep reading that they're reorganizing, they're getting it done. They're a private business. It's not costing the taxpayers. Who's paying? Who's in debt for 118 billion? It's the taxpayers.
The taxpayers will be, and the Postal Service is mandated, or it's it's in the Constitution that we have post offices and postal roads.
Right.
How much and exactly how much we pay and everything, that's all up to Congress.
Right. And it still is up to Congress, even though it's private. The postmaster can't make a decision. In fact, they come forward and say, look, we don't need the post office in Welton.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't make sense anymore. Does it get closed? No. They say, no, the people need it because it's a good gathering place. They like to talk.
It's quasi-private, and that's what quasi means, is they don't really
It means
have
it
full
can't
control.
work is what it means.
And so much of what gets delivered in the major uses of the post office appears to be for junk mail.
Yeah.
And it's stuff that, and they get, because of the way the rates are set up, they lose money on that stuff.
Right.
It doesn't pay for itself.
Here's my feeling on that. I think they got to go to Congress and talk about why they're necessary. And they can say, we handled millions of packages every day last year, packages and letters and stuff.
Right.
Even though 80% of it is junk mail, it still
Yeah.
counts as the numbers. It makes them sound
Well,
like
they're mandated. They don't have a choice. They can't say we're not going to do this. They can't change their rates. I think they have to go to Congress, I think, to change their rates.
It does.
I mean, it's just crazy. So
It does.
It's quasi-private, so it has the disadvantages of both systems.
There you go.
It's terrible. David Steiner is the Postmaster General. He said the Postal Service could run out of cash within a year without major changes. And he outlined potential cost-cutting steps, including reducing 6-day delivery. They're not, the Congress isn't going to allow that. Raising first-class mail from 78 cents to $1. And expanding the borrowing authority. How does borrowing authority?
That doesn't do anything. That's a bad idea.
Right now, their limit is 15 billion, and they've capped it. Well, if they're 118 billion losses, how do they
Over 20 years, yeah.
over 20 years? How do they
So about
how do they only have
6
debt of
billion a
15
year.
billion unless they've been getting checks from the taxpayers?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of this also has to do with the digital economy. I mean, who uses snail mail anymore for personal correspondence? Hardly anyone.
Very few.
I mean, I only use it to send a check here
But-
or there.
But here's the problem, Dean. We haven't made any adjustments.
Exactly.
We don't look at it and say, well, we need to drastically change what we're doing.
I think cutting it back to, every other day delivery or something like that, or 3 days a week, I don't have a big problem with that. I expect snail mail to be slow compared to email.
Yeah.
It's just the way it has come, and we need to cut back on the all this junk mail that most people don't even read. It just goes into the garbage can,
Yeah.
file, the
Adds to the
circular file.
recycling.
And what's the point of that? So I think that would be one of the first areas, if I were, king of the postal system, that I'd do, is I'd say, no, we're not going to
It all has to be approved by
deliver
Congress.
all this subsidized stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think I get a single bill through the mail anymore.
I don't.
I don't believe I do.
I'm trying to think. I think all my stuff. I mean, there's a big incentive for companies to put it online. It saves them a lot of money.
Right.
Yep.
And they push hard for it.
Mhm.
And you don't even get, and this has been going on for several years. They no longer send out a tax form to be filled out for your income taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't get that in the mail anymore. You used to be able to get that in the mail, and it would
Right.
it would include the forms that you'd used before, so you could do it again. All that is gone. They don't even have forms for taxes at libraries anymore.
We should look at ways of not sending ballots in the mail. Maybe make people go down.
I
and
like that
vote.
idea.
Yeah. Vote in person, and you don't have to worry about it.
Yes,
You
it's-
get your notice electronically, and you go vote.
Take the burden off the poor post office. Can't seem to keep up.
Well, and the problem we had here in
Yeah, well, it's all-
24, they didn't deliver the ballots.
They kept pallets of them.
Yeah.
And didn't deliver them.
There's all kinds of
Right.
problems with mail-in ballots. I mean, it's a system that's almost designed for fraud.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no chain of custody.
Yes, and there's states that have even outlawed validating signatures. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. And judges somehow keep kicking things out when you want voter rolls or want to investigate, or, all of Trump's lawsuits to investigate fraud just were thrown out. No
You know,
standing.
Back in 2020, I think
Yeah.
there's some ongoing investigations.
Yeah, but it's funny when I say he probably wins 90% of what gets to the Supreme Court, but it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's like a suit's filed and it's almost automatic. It's going to go to the Supreme Court.
It's
you know?
been about 95%. It's been an incredible. I mean,
Yeah.
people complained about Attorney General Bondi, but she had an incredible track record at the Supreme
Right.
Court. It was like 95%. I think they lost 1 out of 26 cases or something. It's just an incredible record.
Yeah. I know there's some things maybe she could have done better, but I do like her. I like what she did down in Florida. And
Well, Trump's
and-
not bad mouthing her.
no. And in fact, I'm still waiting to see where she pops back up.
It's going to be on the private side.
That's what they said, but
yeah,
it's-
we'll see.
yeah.
And I'm with you. You look at her track record. She did very well from a Second Amendment standpoint.
Yeah.
She was the best AG we've ever had.
Mhm.
Now, that doesn't, that's not a real high bar,
Right.
because of the previous AGs, but still, it's true. It's just that there were a few things she could have done a little better.
misspoke a few
And
times.
I
and
think that-
stuff. Yeah.
I think the image she put forward when testifying to Congress was one of the things that probably irked President Trump.
Mhm.
And the way she handled the Epstein files was a misstep, pretty
Yeah.
significant misstep.
Yeah.
And you'd like to have perfection, but overall, she did a bang up job.
Maybe they need to put Melania in there as a
She spoke from the White House, which was kind of rare
Exactly.
Like-
she was
because her
pissed.
name was mentioned, but a lot of
Yeah.
people's names are mentioned.
Yeah, but she was pissed.
She just made it
Well,
clear
for
she's-
reason.
Yeah.
that she's not involved.
Well, she just put a couple of people and organizations on the dot. It's like, I'm coming for you if you don't knock it off and apologize.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
record, because
Carnival
they
and-
have made allegations that are simply
Mhm.
not true.
Right.
Right.
According to her.
Well, that's true, but these people have a record of making allegations that turn out not to be true. So I tend to
Well,
believe
maybe we
Melania.
could put another wing on that Trump library.
Yeah, there you go.
Another spire or something.
Yeah.
Have you seen some of the images of what it's projected?
Oh my
to be
gosh,
like?
it's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, it's this huge.
It's 47 floor skyscraper.
I
Well,
mean,
and then you compare it to Obama's, it's like, oh my
Oh,
God.
it looks like a trash can.
So
Yeah.
we went
you're
over
talking about Obama's.
Yeah.
Obama's. Yeah, I saw some of the gaudy buildings, and until I saw them, Nicole's an architect, obviously.
Mhm.
She said, "Oh yeah, see, that's by Gaudi." You go, "Oh, that's where that word came from." When you saw something ugly, it was gaudy. So I've seen those. Obama's is, I mean, it's right up there, even more so. It's one of the ugliest buildings I've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
in a terrible neighborhood.
Yeah, I know. It's just like it's got like flat square blob on the. Yeah.
There was a lot of opposition to the Obama library because
Mhm.
essentially he went to his buddies in Chicago and said, "Hey, I want this parkland for my library," and they
Yeah.
just gave it to him pretty much.
Yeah, it was.
Took away the playgrounds.
Yeah.
So, but Trump's is amazing. I mean, the renderings and things that they can do now, and putting the 747 the plane.
That's what he
inside
says.
and-
He's going to
yeah.
put one of the Air Force Ones
Yeah.
that they retire.
Well, and the Reagan Library obviously has
They got
the
one.
707 inside,
Which
it,
is-
so.
Is it inside or out? I think it's outside, isn't it?
No,
I
it's
can't remember. I thought it was
inside. I think
outside.
it's
You can
inside.
you
That's
can
a
get
big
into
plane.
it from.
No,
Yeah.
it's inside.
Is it?
Yeah, it's
Wow.
inside. There's like
It's
a
been a
big
while.
open area, and they have
Yeah.
some eating areas
Okay.
off of it and stuff. Yeah,
I remember seeing it. I just
Now
liked
the
it.
Trump
yeah.
library is going to be in Miami. Is that my
Yeah. Right.
understanding? Yeah.
overlooking the waterfront.
I mean,
Right.
that's some.
Of course, these
pricey
are
real
artist
estate.
renditions. It's not bad. It's got a golden escalator. It comes down by
Yeah.
the airplane.
And somebody, and I don't know if this is true. Somebody is saying, yeah, and they're going to have hotel rooms in there too. So
I've heard that,
I like that idea.
yeah,
but I don't think that came from the Trump people.
I don't know. But
It's
of course
a
it's-
huge place.
47 stories.
Yeah.
yeah,
And the
they could-
footprint's huge, so it's got a lot of room.
yeah, and they could have restaurants and some hotel rooms in there, so it would generate its own funds. So
It would make
it's-
sense. It would make
yeah,
sense
make a
knowing
lot of
Trump.
money.
Trump is a capitalist, you
Yeah.
know, so
Yeah.
why shouldn't my library be a moneymaker?
Yeah, get a room on the 47th floor overlooking the ocean.
Supposed to have a mock-up of the ballroom also
Oh, okay.
inside.
Yeah, that's what I remember reading that. And I'm thinking, they do get hurricanes through there every now and then,
Yeah.
but I'm sure that the architects have taken that into
Now,
consideration.
and I understand Biden is building a bookmobile.
That will be interesting to see if he ever gets a library.
Apparently, he's not raised much funds for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I that doesn't surprise me for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was never really a popular president.
No.
No.
I mean, it was like we can squeeze this guy in because nobody really knows him.
Well, I didn't think he was really popular when he was in Congress either.
No,
He
he was kind of a placeholder.
Yeah,
You know,
he
I
was
mean,
like out of a class of 495, he was 494 or something like that.
something like that. I mean, he just
Apparently, there were a couple senators that the aides and everybody always cautioned, don't get on an elevator alone with him. He was one of them. He was one of the two.
No, I've heard that about different congressmen before. If you're female,
Yes.
yeah.
Don't get on an elevator alone with him.
Smell
Not a
your
good reputation. I don't know what, if anything he's claimed to have done is true or not, but that's the reputation.
Well, that's why that litigation money or whatever it's called that Congress has. That's why none of those files are open to the public about settling his sexual harassment.
How did we find out about
lawsuits and stuff.
Grijalva? Grijalva used $50,000 from that fund because he had a secretary or one of his aides or somebody was suing him for being drunk and having a abusive language or sexual something. I don't know.
I'm sure one of his staffers leaked it. It's,
but apparently that they paid $50,000 in tax money. I understand why they have the fund because if you're in that kind of position, people will bring false stuff up like they did Kavanaugh.
well, you're vulnerable.
Right.
You're vulnerable.
Yeah. And I get that part, but it's also
But it's also going to cover the real ones.
Yes, I
Right.
know.
It's going to cover the real ones
Double-edged
too.
sword. Oh, I just made that one up. No. Yeah.
But if you're an elected official and something happens in line with your position and you're sued because of the way you voted or anything, it's always covered.
Yeah.
I mean, I got subpoenaed all the time as a county supervisor.
So I did on the school board
Yeah.
and with the city too, obviously.
Yeah, and I just turned it over to the state, the county attorneys.
Yeah. Someone would walk in, it's like, oh man, you're subpoenaed, you're charged and this and da 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 da. I go, well, put it on the stack.
Yeah, put it over there.
Oh,
Put it on
another
that
one?
stack. Yeah.
Well, it's just routine. You're mad at the city, so you subpoena, you sue everybody.
Yeah.
The councilman, the mayor, the administrator.
Yeah. And they even put in a phrase, an unknown parties or something like that in there just to cover all the bases so they can, when they file
In case there's somebody I forgot to put on the list.
Exactly. Or they discover somebody
And they can
else.
do that.
Yeah.
I guess they can.
Yeah.
It's a fairly I'm saying new phenomena, and this wasn't happening before about 1955 or so.
It's expanded fast.
Yeah, there's been a huge it's a whole revolution, a tort revolution in the courts that has happened over about the last 60 70 years.
It's too bad. I got some news on ICE. ICE has been kind of low profile in the last month or so.
They've just out there quietly doing their job.
I think that's true.
It is, I think.
I think that's true.
Yep.
They released a notice that they announced on Thursday. It's arrested more alleged illegal immigrants who have been convicted of various crimes, which coincides with the 1-year anniversary of the agency reopening the program to support victims of migrant crime. Now, I didn't know they ever closed it, but apparently they did. There's a program that ICE calls Victims of Immigration Crime Engagement, VOICE. It was launched in 2025, April 10th, by Trump. Biden closed it.
Well, not if it was 2025, because that was after Biden was president.
No.
So it might have been opened again on 2025.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. It was reopened on April 2025.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It was launched in 2017.
There you go.
I'm sorry.
That makes sense.
And then Biden closed it in 21.
Yeah.
And he replaced it with
Complaints about ICE?
yes, Victims Engagement and Service Line, and under Mayorkas. And it was to serve as a more comprehensive and inclusive victim support system offered by ICE that will ensure services are offered to all victims, regardless of immigration status of the victim perpetrator. Providing assistance to society's most vulnerable is a core of American value. All people, regardless of their immigration status, should be able to access victim services without fear. So it became a victim services program, and that didn't do anything.
Yeah, I know. And kind of a side topic on this, one of the things is that ICE has been really active, obviously, in deporting all these illegals and going after crime. our crime rate is the lowest it's been in, I guess, over 100 years.
Surely that's not connected,
So
Greg.
what does that tell you? I don't believe in a lot of coincidences like
Yeah, well,
that.
sure.
But
It's actually the lowest we've ever recorded. We
Yeah.
just weren't having.
Right.
We didn't have the numbers. We didn't
Yeah.
collect the statistics before that.
yeah, so does that mean that after all these times that illegals are the ones that have committed the most murders in our country?
You're just a
And
racist, aren't you?
I am. I am.
I think it's just that there is a significant portion.
Yeah.
And also what you have is the effect where a lot of criminals that happen to be illegal aliens are going to lie low because they realize if they get caught up in the system, they're gone. Now,
Mhm.
so I think it's both things are happening. And
You're right.
one of the
The heat's
ways
on.
that statistics were manipulated to try to claim that immigrants, and they use that term immigrants for everybody who was an immigrant, illegal and legal together, is they'd put them all together.
Yeah.
And then they'd say, well, they have a lower rate of crime
Mhm.
than other residents.
Yeah,
But it's very deceptive because, of course, legal immigrants are going to be very careful
Right.
about what they do. And a lot of the illegal immigrants prey upon other illegal immigrants, and the crime doesn't get reported. And so I would look at, like, Texas. They had their own sort of version of the most wanted. These were in Texas. And the top 5 were always appeared to be illegal immigrants. And I said, that's interesting, since the left claims that immigrants commit less crime than residents do. Well, no, it's not true.
Yeah.
Well, something interesting about this article, they didn't release a single number.
Oh, yeah.
Now, they used to, though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you'd always say, we've
Right.
deported 100,000, we self-deported 2 million or 5 million. Not getting any numbers from them. I'm just trying to figure that out. They just, I'm sure they're proud of the numbers.
Yeah. Well, and usually you have to justify getting money by numbers that you produce. I mean, that's
Yeah, but you
almost
don't have
with
to put it out
every-
to the
every
public. They-
grant. Yeah.
But
But it's
I just-
public record, though.
At a time, I mean, this is the 1-year anniversary since they reopened it. And all they say is, we just got a bunch of them. And that's it.
I don't know. All the statistics can be manipulated by bureaucracies, and they learn the games of how to do it.
But they
So
got the numbers of actual people that they've,
I'm sure the
apprehended.
numbers are out there.
Mhm.
they know they're not telling us.
But yeah,
They go through this list, and it's Lauren Biss that contributes to it. She's the Assistant Secretary of Public Affairs for the Department of Homeland Security. And she just starts giving a few, individual, well, we got this guy and that guy and that guy, but no numbers.
Yeah.
No numbers. So for some reason, they don't think it's advantageous to let us know what a good job they're doing. Just, they're doing a good job. Trust me.
Yeah.
It's more like Mayorkas.
Trust me, I work for the government.
Yeah.
I've heard that before.
When I read this article, and the last person that contributed, or the last person they mentioned in it, was Alejandro Mayorkas. I can't help but just get a little shudder, like, ugh.
Well,
Yeah. Whatever happened to him? What's he doing?
well, he went back into his hole, I guess.
I guess I haven't heard anything written
I
about
haven't
him.
tried to track him, so it's hard to say.
Yeah. I'm sure he made all kinds of money while he was in office, and then
That's not the highest paid job that these normal
I'm not
people.
talking about pay.
Oh, okay.
I
Okay.
would not be surprised if he's working at some university somewhere.
Yeah, that would University of Chicago or something like
Could
that.
be.
Yeah, the left will take care of their own.
Harvard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the left
Yeah.
takes care.
See, but it's not only salary. I mean, Pelosi's worth $430 million. And she's never had a job other than
Well,
Congress.
her
Yeah.
husband was fairly well
Right.
off when they
Yeah.
started, and he's probably the mechanism by which they made
Well,
most
it's all
of the
it's,
stock trades.
it's in his name. Yeah.
Right.
So it's Speaker of the House didn't do it. The husband. And I had no idea. We don't even talk.
yeah.
Never discussed that.
yeah, except to put the ice cream back in the freezer.
But
Whatever.
it's I don't think it's still not illegal.
It wasn't
to do
illegal. It isn't illegal still.
do inside
There's some
trader.
talk about trying to make it
Yeah.
illegal.
Now, if somebody that trades on the market, like Edward or something, were to do that, the DOJ would be knocking on the door.
Yeah.
That's not legal.
Right.
for insider trading.
Insider trading.
Unless you get elected, Edward. Go get elected.
Yeah, then you can do anything you want.
Well, not all elected officials.
Yeah.
You know, as far as I understand, that's only for Congress.
So one of the locals, I won't say his name, he told me, I asked, why don't you run for office? And he goes, if you're elected, you just have yourself. And he goes, if you have a lot of money and stuff, then you own all the politicians.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he said, I can do more not being elected than when I am elected.
Yeah. Because you can make, well, and you own them is probably the word a lot of them use and say like that. But I think basically they seek out the people that have like-minded, that want to go in the right direction.
Yeah.
And say, I'm going to support you. Yeah.
Or you support people on both sides. So no matter who's in office. And
That happens more than I like to think about.
I think that's pretty common.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You had your
and-
bets.
Yeah. And then you pick up the phone, they're going to answer.
Right.
like-
Exactly. You're buying access.
Exactly. That's what it is. Yeah.
Supreme Court just blocked a candidate.
Yeah.
This as a Samuel Ronan. He was a Democrat state and national candidate, and he attempted to run as a Republican in Ohio.
Oh,
Did you hear about that?
I heard about that, but I didn't hear about the trial or anything.
Yeah, well, the thing was he changed to Republican to muck up the deal
Yeah.
and to become a Democrat and get elected and be as a Republican that causes problems for the Republican Party. And we know that because he put it on his social media.
Yeah.
There you go.
He said,
He
guess
talked
what,
about
guys? I just flipped it. I'm running as Republican, and that way I'll get in and I can make things miserable for him and all that kind of stuff. So somebody complained about it. A Republican voter named Mark. He filed a protest with the Franklin County Board of Elections, and he sent them copies of the social media post and interviews as evidence to the scheme and all that stuff. And then Rogan claimed in his application he did not lie about his affiliation, citing similar party deviations of politicians like Reagan, Trump, and Hunter. Which is true. A lot of people do. The Ohio Secretary of State didn't care. Frank LaRose. See, that's the guy we need as Secretary of State. He just said, you're off the ballot.
Yeah.
Tossed him.
Well,
Yeah.
but he made a cogent point. He said, you don't have free speech to lie on your application.
Right.
And he says, from your actions and from what we've seen, you lied on the application.
And that came from the judge because it did
Right.
go because Ronan was insinuated. I mean, insulted. He just said, look, you can't throw me off the ballot. Took it to court, and the judge agreed with the state and agreed with the Secretary of State and said exactly that because he claimed First Amendment rights.
Well, and I'll tell you, we had that same problem here.
Yeah.
That Democrats came over because we were running such a strong ground game and stuff, and they knew if they had a chance getting elected, they wanted to run as a Republican, and they had been Democrats all along. And so, what do you do? And that was
a discussion that we've had.
yes,
And well, would we really help a Republican that isn't really a Republican?
right.
And I
Well,
think the consensus was no.
Well, that's
I
why you
had
have
to
party organization.
Right. I had to make a few tough decisions.
Yeah.
What we put on our flyers and what we put in the paper and those
Right.
types of things. Yeah.
I mean, and people can do it. They can change party affiliation.
Right.
But they better convince you they're sincere.
Well,
Yeah.
that's it. And they have a history.
Well, and I like that this thing has gone through because we have had that problem.
Mhm.
And it's always a struggle. Like, oh my, how do we handle this carefully? We don't. But now that we've got the Supreme Court backing up the Secretary of State
In Ohio.
in Ohio, well,
Was
but-
that
but-
Ohio Supreme Court or the U.S. Supreme
It-
Court?
Ohio.
Ohio.
Yeah.
Okay.
it is.
But it does set a precedence.
Well, it says the Supreme Court. It doesn't say whether it's Ohio. Or
It's
not.
Ohio.
Is it? Okay. Yeah, I was going to say they got to that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yes. And the key is that he lied on his
No,
application.
it was a regular Supreme Court because it was Justice Brett Kavanaugh.
What?
Yeah.
I'm what? I wonder if it wasn't a full hearing. I wonder if it's just the
Because-
assigned judge for that area.
Are
assigned
you sure they're not
justice.
referencing Judge Kavanaugh about something else?
No, it says after the legal loss, Ronan asked the Supreme Court Monday to intervene prior to early voting. Justice Brett Kavanaugh, a Trump appointee, referred the application to full court, which denied Ronan's request without explanation.
Okay.
Oh, so they turned
Yeah.
it
So
down.
it's not.
Yeah.
They turned it down.
They just said we're not going to hear it.
Yeah.
And Kavanaugh had, justices have different areas of responsibility. And Kavanaugh had the responsibility over this one. And he said, well, let's have
but
everybody
that's-
take a look.
That's still impactful.
It is.
Mhm.
It is. I'm corrected. I didn't think it had gone to the U.S.
I better write that down. I haven't done that at all with my knowledge. You're pretty spot on, man.
Yeah, usually. Well, everybody makes mistakes. The only people who don't make mistakes are those who do nothing, and that's a big mistake.
Oh, okay. But I thought you would enjoy that one. I know you've struggled with that, or we have. It's
Oh yeah.
on the Republican side.
Yeah.
What do we do if?
Oh yeah, and you take all kinds of heat when you make those decisions, but you have to make them.
If you go back a number of years, and I think you have to go back like more than 30 years, 40 years, maybe, the parties were really powerful,
Right.
and they decided who the candidates were.
What the
And
Democrats do now?
Well, they still do. Yeah, in the Democratic Party, you saw how Harris got
Yeah.
in. But this open primary and using primaries to select candidates at the state level reduced the power of the parties a lot.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I think it was deliberate. In my opinion, the people who gained from that, the people who gained the most power out of that were the media, because they got two shots at candidates. They got shots in the primary, and then they got shots in the regular election.
Mhm.
And certainly, and before Trump anyway, I'd say since easily the 1950s, politicians feared the media more than anybody else.
Yeah.
And Trump doesn't fear the media anymore.
No, they're really
They're not irrelevant, but
Yeah.
there are ways around them.
Trump has control of the media.
Well, yes, and it's partly because we have, and I'm going to make this point again, people have heard me before, the media system now is fractured partisan media,
Yeah.
the way it was when the Republic was first formed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for a long time, at least from the 40s until I'd say 94, that's when we had the Republican Revolution, if you recall that, the media was very much one-sided, and it was pretty much in lockstep. I call it the progressive media. I mean, I often wondered when I was growing up in the 60s and 70s, and, I thought we had a free press. How is it that everybody always does the same stories with the same take on it?
Yeah. Well, and I want to say 20 years ago, 25 years ago, I used to watch CNN, man. I don't look at that at all anymore. I mean, they're so bad. And I guess,
They've gotten worse,
Yeah.
more partisan.
right. And
They don't care.
yeah, they don't. And I don't know how I guess they have progressive sponsors or whatever that buy airtime and stuff like that. But I don't know how they make it, because they're so bad. I mean, it's like,
Well, it used to be they got a lot of money from being broadcast in airports on cable.
Right.
mhm.
I don't know if that still is the case or
They
not.
don't have exclusives at most airports anymore.
No.
It used to be exclusive.
Yeah.
No.
And so they had this income stream that did not depend on viewership when people had a choice.
Mhm.
And I think, and they're shrinking. I think they're shrinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Poor guys.
I think part of the big blow is when Fox News came out. You know,
Oh, yeah. That was definitely,
that really
part of that.
destroyed all those.
And Fox News took the lead, and they still have it.
yeah. Well,
They do.
you've got Fox, you have other cable networks. And one of the big things is you have the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People now go to the internet instead of watching, network television. Lots of
Mhm.
people do that.
Yeah.
I think probably a majority now.
Yeah. Now, when there's all these other outlets now, Newsmax and OAN and all these
Right.
others too, that
Well, we just
Yeah.
talked about Tusi TV, which is, it looks like, he doesn't have a very big organization,
Mhm.
but he gets millions of views because he's delivering some information that's hard to get anywhere else.
He's got almost 2 million subscribers.
Yeah. I mean, that's bigger than CNN, isn't it?
Probably.
probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's just Because he figured out a way.
Smart guy, articulate.
Yes,
And he has a lot of
has
contacts.
interesting contacts, and he's able to get some information from family members and others inside Iran. So
he shows video inside Iran that nobody else shows.
Nobody else has.
But he's been on Fox a lot now.
Oh,
he's a guest host on Fox, and he's talking about the internal struggles in Iran that doesn't really get picked up much.
No, it doesn't. And I made a comment, and I was just writing in commentary, with other people, that the media structure we're in reminds me of the early republic, because anybody with a few dollars could buy a printing press and start putting something out. And today it's even a lower level. Anybody with a microphone.
Yeah, we can do it.
We're doing it here.
And we're not low.
Microphone, and a laptop. There you go.
Yeah. And so for an expenditure of a few hundred, maybe a few thousand at most, you can put your views and your commentary and whatever information you gather out there. And if it's something people like and appreciate, you can gather a following and be part of the media.
Yeah. Well, and look at, I think one of the astronauts brought his iPhone 17 to the moon and was taking pictures of the moon and sending them back from his iPhone.
Oh, you could. How?
Well, they have a laser connection.
Oh, they do. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So, but yeah, it took.
I said I can't get
pictures of
service out in the desert.
Well, you're not connected to Starlink.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, Starlink is on the edge of providing satellite internet connection to phone service all over the world.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's really close. It's
Yep.
going to happen. And they have specials now, put in a push for them. You can, starting at $35 a month, you can get direct Starlink connection, and they give you the hardware as part of that. Then it bumps up after 4 months, goes to $50 a month.
Well, there's actually an interface on the iPhones to do that too.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's,
You still have to pay a subscription to Starlink, or
not for like 911 calls or something like that, but when they get everything going, it's an additional fee. I don't do it, but there's an additional fee I think you pay. I'm not an expert on that, but
right.
Okay.
And it's not for everybody right now, but it's coming.
Right.
It's coming. And it means that you'll be able to talk around the world from just almost anywhere. Now, there are places that block it, like Russia, China. Those are big chunks.
Yeah. But it's pretty, when he comes out with his own phone, I know he's working on his own
I keep
phone.
seeing
There's a
it.
lot of rumors about that.
Yeah.
He keeps denying.
Yeah, but he could, if he had, his own phone and limited his network to his phone, I mean, he would make billions, hundreds of billions of dollars.
And he needs the money.
Yeah, he does. He's going broke. Yeah.
When I'm watching people discuss this on the internet, okay, and what they're saying is, no, he's not going to do this with his own phone. He's going to become the major way that everybody else's phone goes through. He'll become a major carrier. He'll overshadow Verizon and places like that. And I think that's very plausible because his operating costs are so much cheaper, and he covers the whole world.
Yeah.
It just shocks me when you say cheaper, because we keep seeing those rockets blast off and we're thinking that can't be cheap.
But he has reduced the cost of putting a kilogram into orbit by 90%. And the projections are he's going to reduce it another 90% in the next few years.
Yeah.
I mean, getting it down to 1% of what it used to be.
I think it'll cool the planet too, because there's so much floating around now. It's going to stop the sunlight.
I saw somebody on the internet. They were showing a picture of the Earth that someone on Artemis had taken. The blue marble. And they said, well, where's all those satellites? There's thousands of satellites. I'm thinking, well, they're occupying a volume many times that of Earth.
Yeah.
It's like saying, well, we're showing the Sahara Desert. Where are the camels? No, you can't expect to see this tiny little speck.
Right.
Sometimes you can see his satellites with the sun will glint off the
I've
satellites.
Have you?
Several times you see a line of satellites going, and those are almost always Starlink launches.
So Artemis is landing today at around 5:00, I think.
On the Earth, back on the Earth.
Yes.
It's arriving back. And it's coming in at 25,000 miles per hour right now.
Yeah, that's about right.
How's it miss all those satellites? You'd think it would collect a few.
If I remember right, there's an organization that tracks the junk in space.
There is.
Yeah.
Everything bigger than an inch or a centimeter or something, I don't know. But they track even the trash.
Yeah.
But
because
it's-
anything at 25,000 miles an hour is going to be like very bad.
Well, it has to be that their orbit intersects the other orbits, and it's a huge place. It's way bigger than Earth,
Yeah.
and so in volume.
Yeah.
So that yes, it is a problem, and it's getting bigger, and there are plans to try to figure out ways to ameliorate the problem. And like what Musk does with his Starlink satellites is they have a lifespan.
Yeah.
And after so many years, and he's continually putting up more, the older ones are designed so that they fall back to Earth and cease to be a problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had seen some things where like even weird stuff where they go up with like nets, so they shoot these spaceships up and nets and grab.
I don't think they've done that, but they've
plans,
designed some stuff.
ideas about how you could do it.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, well, it costs so much to put this stuff up in orbit. Wouldn't it be worthwhile to kind of collect it and use it for something? I mean, maybe you could make reaction mass out of it, if nothing else.
Apparently not.
Well, not at present, but maybe eventually. I don't know. There are several different plans I was looking at.
Get a flux capacitor.
Well, if you have a linear accelerator, and Musk is
go.
talking about putting one of those on the moon, because of course the gravity on the moon is only 1/6 of Earth, so the energy to put something in orbit is only like 1/36.
Right.
So you can get stuff up to the velocity to escape the moon with a linear accelerator, basically like a rail gun, only it'd be designed to be a little different, but that's the same idea. Use electromagnetic forces to propel something into the orbit you want.
And that's most of the energy to get off the Earth is just to get out into orbit.
Oh yeah.
Once they're up there, it doesn't take a lot of energy then.
No,
Space.
it depends how low you are. The closer you get to the Earth, the atmosphere doesn't go away like at a certain point. It just gets rarer and rarer and rarer. And even if you're 1,000 miles up, you'll run into molecules from the Earth atmosphere, and it'll slow you down a little bit, and eventually your orbit starts to decay. So, and then you fall into the Earth. But so you need a little bit of energy in low Earth orbit to stay in place, but it's really tiny. And as I said, the Starlink satellites are designed in such a way that eventually they fall back into the Earth.
And you think they could do that with the junk? Just get it a little nudge so that gravity
That's
would take
one
over
of the
and pull it
ways
back.
that they're trying to figure out how to do it. And
Someone's got to go up there with a baseball bat and just
There
knock
you
it.
go.
yeah, well, and I mean, there's thoughts of
Swat it
someone said
back.
if you could hit them with a laser beam, you might be able to nudge them just a little bit from the pressure of the laser beam, or maybe it ablates them a little bit. There's several different schemes.
Well, but right now they know how to avoid them when they come in.
Well, they're not to the point yet that the collisions are very common.
But if they hit something high enough speeds,
Well, of course,
it's
and
disaster.
there
Big
have
time.
been a few problems. The biggest source of this junk is when a couple of satellites collide, or somebody does a military test and blows up a satellite, and then you've got thousands of fragments all over the place.
and
Right.
and that's happened.
It's happened a couple times.
Yeah. And we try to tell those people not to do it.
Yeah. Well, right.
Say, look, China, don't do that.
I think it was the Russians or the Soviets that did the last one. I don't know if the Chinese have done one. They might have.
Right. Well, the Artemis is coming in near San Diego, so they're having a little get together over at San Diego Museum.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, they're coming in off the California coast, right?
Yeah, they're coming off there, and it's and the museum. I guess you'll be able to see it, is what they're saying.
Really? I know it's 80 miles, going to land 80 miles off the coast. or
Well, maybe they're
something
talking
like
about seeing the ship after they bring it in.
I don't know. But there's a Jim Kendrick, he's president and CEO of the San Diego Air and Space Museum.
that.
He says, he's talking about it. He says, well, you go back to the game of deep space, you go back to General Patton, World War II, Americans love a winner. We will not tolerate a loser. Sounds like Trump, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Said, I think people have been rejuvenated. But he says, there's going to be tons of people around there. He says, we can help inspire, educate, get them excited, get those young boys, girls ready, really going to be those next generations. They can't just be one of the greatest generations. the generations that follow you are going to have to be a wonderful future because somebody will land on Mars. True. But they're going to be there at the Air and Space Museum. Apparently, they're expecting big crowds. They're going to gather along the coastline and at the museum. The museum's close to the coast.
Okay.
Well,
They can witness the crew's homecoming. I thought
that
maybe
makes
that's when the
sense.
ship gets there, but the ship's not going to be there for hours.
Yeah, well,
The thing
it's not that
splashes
far.
at 5.
right.
I mean, we were talking, what, 70, 80 miles off the coast.
Well, yeah, but it takes them a while to.
Yeah,
once
they'll have
once they
to-
splash
have
down,
to-
it takes a while to recover.
Right. That's true. But I would think that they could be back in San Diego within 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be sitting on the beach at 5 o'clock waiting for
No.
it.
I don't know. I don't know if you can see the. I guess you see meteors and stuff come through the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Maybe you can see the capsule.
Well,
coming down. I don't know.
watch Elan's ships all the time.
Yeah,
but
we're
those-
talking at 5 in the afternoon.
Yeah, those are the
5 in the evening.
exhaust
Yeah,
plumes going up.
right.
from the-
Well, this is going to be setting.
Chemicals
It's
and
going to be
stuff.
hot enough to be setting.
Yeah.
To be bright anyway.
I don't know.
What's-
Maybe.
Yeah, what's interesting about it is they talk this skip reentry, where the ship actually enters the atmosphere, and then it starts to go up, and so then they turn the ship over, make some sort of maneuver, and then it re-enters the atmosphere.
To keep it cooler or something. To keep it from overheating.
I don't know. It's just the way it's not. They talked about it's a skip reentry instead of a direct reentry because of the shields, the heat shields.
Yeah, well, they have a
aren't as
lot of
significant.
energy they have to dump somehow.
Right.
Yeah.
And so,
And most of that's going to go into friction and
right.
Well, they got
heat.
these new heat shields. This is the first time they've ever used them. Would be the
Yeah, I'd
test.
be a little worried about that.
Yeah, they used them on the test capsule and they had some problems with
Well,
yeah.
nothing to worry about then.
No.
Yeah.
it. Well, and they tested the capsule here, so but yeah, so but they did have some problems with the heat shields when they did the test.
Heat
on
shields
it.
were always a problem.
Mhm.
It's
In
one of the
space
biggest
shuttle.
challenges.
Yeah.
That Musk has said that for his SpaceX Starship, that one of the biggest challenges is getting a heat shield that you can reuse,
Right.
that you
Right.
don't have to refurbish every time.
He
Yeah.
thinks he may have found a solution. They're making them out of metal now. They're not ceramic somehow.
I
really?
heard something about that. It's one,
Okay.
and they're
Yeah.
moving forward. So I
Well,
heard
and that's a monster coming in sideways into the atmosphere.
Oh, it's so much
well,
skin area
But
there.
one of the reasons they do that, it's more area. They can distribute the
Right.
heat over a bigger area.
yeah, but it's bringing back a big monster like that.
Yeah.
But even the space shuttle, when it came in, they always burned up.
Yeah.
Those things are thick and it
The
always
tiles,
burns
yeah.
tiles. They have to replace them all
Yeah.
every time.
And they're supposed to do a Starship to orbit, I think, within the next month or so. I read that it's they're going to do the first orbital flight. They've had several suborbital flights, but they've never gone a complete orbit. around.
Well, we had to go through
Okay.
the series of blowups first.
Well, that's how they do things. I mean, and it's
It is.
proven to be extremely effective
And
you
cheaper.
know. Yeah.
I don't know how, but that's what
well,
they say.
Well, part of it is we have such good telemetry now.
Yeah.
And so they put sensors all over the place, and then they get a telemetry stream of what's going on with those sensors, so they can figure out what breaks and usually how and why it breaks from the telemetry. And a lot of that goes through Starlink.
Starlink. And in the pictures, I mean, he has pictures of the Starship all going all the way up and coming
Right.
down.
I've
Yeah, it's
watched them.
amazing.
They put it on the internet, and
Yeah.
you can watch what's going on. And the cameras inside the spacecraft show various tiles and
Mhm.
what's going on with the fins and all the other stuff.
Yeah.
It's fascinating stuff.
And some of them show the fins melting off. You've seen those. Where,
Yeah, well, they get a burn through. Yes.
Yeah. And so when NASA launched Artemis 2, so it was like, oh man, I can't see all the things that I can see at Starship and stuff. And it was, yeah. So they should really get Elon to closer in with NASA with the launches to have him show them what he does.
I felt like with Artemis, they kind of just played it up so much, like they're the first of everything. They're so great. They're
Mhm.
wonderful. It's like they're competing against Musk, which has got to be hard. So you got to,
It's hard,
yeah,
especially as a government bureaucracy.
I think they kind of overdid the marketing that they're so good and all that.
Yeah.
Which it's amazing they're doing it, but they're way behind schedule.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think like 50 years.
Yeah.
But it's just that
Yeah.
that's something that I never understood how presidents change the priorities.
Oh,
I
they
mean,
did.
yeah, because we should have had a base on the moon
It-
decades ago.
It was absolutely astounding to me that I went to, let's see, Alabama. They have a NASA
Mhm.
area there. And
Yes.
I took a tour one time, Huntsville, I think.
Huntsville, yeah,
And-
it's Huntsville, Alabama.
And they had a Saturn V
Yeah.
that was there. And the guide said, well, this is one of the ones, we had it already, but then they decided not to use it. They
Right.
apparently had 2 complete Saturn Vs
Yeah. One's
that
at
they
Kennedy
could
Space
have
Center.
launched
Yeah.
and done missions with. And they just
They-
decided, oh, now we're just going to throw them
Well,
away.
And in fact, Artemis took the flag that was supposed to be for Apollo 18 that was landed on the moon. They took it with them.
Oh, they
had-
did?
They had it in a little case. Yeah, they showed it. So the flag still got to go at least around the moon, if not be planted on the moon. But
They started canceling the Saturn program long before anybody knew what was going on.
Yeah.
They canceled the manufacturers. They canceled the spare parts builders. They canceled all that years ahead of time.
Yeah.
They knew they were winding it down,
Well,
and they just said, "Why
yeah,
bother?"
but is Apollo 18 and 19? Are those the 2 they canceled?
I don't recall
trying to remember.
the numbers. I just don't. But
Yeah.
But part of what struck me is it was this, and it's what I would call globalists. They did not want the U.S. to maintain dominance in space because you're too powerful.
It's-
We have to make the U.S. less powerful. And if we don't sign this treaty that no military in space, well, we'll dominate, and we can't have that.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
this
that's
is
our own
bizarre.
government.
Yes, that was our own government.
Right.
That was back in the 70s. It just
So if Trump was president, we wouldn't have signed it probably.
well,
and
yeah, of course, a different Trump back then.
we'd have a
but-
Trump Tower on the moon.
Yeah.
But we are talking about, and Elon Musk is talking about a permanent base on the moon, and so is NASA. So
Mhm.
there'll probably be some coordination there, I imagine. And the reason you can do that much easier now, is because Musk has been so successful in lowering the cost to orbit. I mean, it's
Right.
it's enormous. We've already decreased it 90%, which
Yeah.
is by itself an enormous achievement. But now we're talking about getting it another 90%. I mean, oh gosh, I think 20 years ago it was about $5,000 per kilogram, something like that.
And
Or
it's
50,000 maybe. I'm trying, and now it's down to like from say 5,000 to 500, and they're thinking they're going to be able to decrease it to 50.
but it's a private company, and we don't have any right to know it. The reason we do know is because the competition sued Elon Musk. They sued him. They said, "You're underbidding the contracts just to put us out of business. You can't really build it that cheap."
Mhm.
He had to go to court and show them the books.
Oh, okay.
Then
Yeah.
we do build it. We're not lowballing it to get the. That's just what it cost us.
Yeah. So I haven't heard this, but is the Boeing capsule, is that out of it now?
I don't know.
I haven't heard much lately. I'm not sure
Yeah.
that it's completely gone. They're
Mhm.
probably doing
It
something.
should be, because it's
Yeah.
been a failure from the start.
Yeah, I know. Well, what I'm waiting for Elon to take one of the starships, fill it up with stuff, water. And
Oh, I was thinking
food and-
politicians. I was
Yeah,
going
yeah, and fill it and land one on the moon. Just put it on the moon and see what happens,
Well,
and do a
that's
test
sort
that
of
way.
in the works,
Right.
because they're talking about a moon base eventually.
Yeah, but
Well.
to be able to, because he can be the cargo carrier to carry,
Sure.
water, which
Well,
you can generate all kinds of
I,
stuff.
I think he should be up there before
Yeah.
Artemis. That way he can take pictures of that historic landing.
Well, right now, I think the big next step that has to happen is they have to be able to refuel in orbit.
Mhm.
And it doesn't sound like such a huge thing, but there are technical issues.
Oh, you mean the Starship?
The Starship, right? You see, because you use most of the fuel getting to orbit, and you don't have to use much to come back. But if you're going to go to the moon and land on the moon, you have to have a fair amount of fuel to go there and do that and come back. So that seems to be the issue right now that they're working on. They're going to overcome it.
It needs to be refueled by another Starship, but not just one. It would be multiple.
Right. And
Because
eventually they'll
even
have,
the refuelers would burn most of their fuel.
and so eventually you'll have a refueling station in orbit.
Right. That's the theory.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it happen yet. I think we just need a nuclear engine.
Well, but yes, and they have them. It's not that easy to make it work, and we have these treaties about what you can put in space with
Right.
nuclear, and I think for long distance, like to Mars or something like that, nuclear reactors may power some type of ion drive. Those are been worked on for a lot of years. They have some that work, and you get continuous propulsion at relatively low accelerations, 100th of or a thousandth of a gravity, and that makes a huge difference. But that won't work to get you off of a planet.
Right.
Now, there's some ideas for nuclear drives that would take you off planet. I forget what the name of the old system was, Orion or something like that, where you basically blasted a bunch of small nuclear bombs underneath the spaceship and it took you to orbit.
What could go wrong?
Yeah, right. They nixed that idea, but I mean, it's not like an impossible thought. It could have worked.
Oh, man.
But so there are also, really far out stuff that are not impossible. There's these space warp kind of drives that some physicists say are theoretically possible. They use enormous masses right now.
You mean right out of Star Trek?
Kind of like that, yeah.
Well, that's where we got our flip phone from.
That's right.
That's right.
I am amazed. I mean, I watched Star Trek, and then 20 years later, here is a communicator. I mean, it looks like the same thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, well, form follows function,
Yeah,
So
exactly.
So we have all these technical possibilities that we're moving toward faster and faster.
Got some news on Mandani.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. He's not. I guess he's doing exactly what he wants. He's doing well. He seems fine. He looks fine. Whatever. But he finally came out and admitted he can't do free busing.
Yeah, that was kind of amazing because my thought was, well, it'll be very expensive, but he just won't charge the riders. He'll just charge everybody else.
Well, there's taxpayers, but he's running out of those too.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Well, believe it or not, he's getting a lot of heat on social media.
Oh, you mean for not doing the free
for
buses?
not doing the free buses?
What you mean? There are constraints.
And one of the conservative writers writes, "Ha ha 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 ha." You got played, New York City.
Well, that's what's going on in the Democratic Party. And Spanberger is another one.
Man, is she horrible?
Oh God, she lied her ass off.
And she lies to the camera too, and she just smirks at it like, "Hey, your popularity's down." Yeah, I don't believe that.
Yeah,
I know.
Everybody
loves me.
Yeah, but I can't remember what city tried the free busing, and all they turned into is campgrounds for the homeless.
Well, New York tried it a couple different times, and it was a failure both times, as I recall when I was reading about the program.
Yeah. So, and this thing about taxing the rich whites.
Oh, I mean, he specifically puts that out. It's ridiculous.
That's going straight to the Supreme Court. Tax based upon whether you're white, or black, or whatever. Yeah.
I mean, he puts it in writing even.
I know.
I mean, a lot of times, these socialists try to be creative, like it doesn't look like what it is.
Yeah.
He doesn't pull. And I got to admire him for that.
He's at least he's saying truthful. Who he is, not like Spanberger. Saying, Spanberger was. But I don't know if she told her the truth on anything.
The Democrats are even shocked about her.
Yeah.
Because she came off as this moderate.
Yeah.
Well, she's just following Joe Biden.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much.
Except
she
signs
things.
Dementia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's true.
She's too young.
But he was sold as we're going back to quote normal, whatever that was.
Right.
Another guy from the Heritage Foundation, a guy named Tim Young. Mandami lied about free buses and basically everything else in his campaign, and the idiots of New York fell for it.
Yeah.
They
had 8 million people not show up to vote. 8 million voters didn't show up.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
It's an old tactic.
He got a lot of voters, but
votes,
not a percentage, not a large percentage.
New
York's got a lot of people.
Promise free stuff.
Yeah.
Mandami's office answered all the criticism and said, Mayor Mandani is committed to delivering fast and free buses by the time he leaves office, full stop. That's it.
Yeah. By the time I'm leaving, they will be delivered when I won't have any more responsibility for
Exactly.
anything, and nobody
Yeah.
can hold me accountable.
Yeah, exactly.
Trust
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. He's about as toxic and horrible as anything, and he's spooling up.
Yeah,
He's not
I
gonna.
know. Well, you got that going on in New York. Like we have Governor Spanberger of Virginia and
Newsom and
And
Kelly.
Newsom.
Newsom in California. You got what's his face?
Pritzker's trying to keep up.
Yeah, I mean it's just incredible. I don't know what happened to the Democrat Party.
But they seem to be getting more rebellious, and the more you point it out, like this is ridiculous, they become more ridiculous.
they go worse.
So
Yeah.
how does that translate to the midterms?
I don't know.
I
I
wish
don't
I had
know if they can super progressives can turn out. In some ways, they just vote Democrat because they're a Democrat. They don't look at the person.
Right.
I mean, I go back to people go, oh, you just vote for Republicans. Well, no, that's not true. That's not true. I mean, I voted for Ralph Ogden. He was a Democrat.
Right.
I'm going to vote for a Democrat in the city council
Heaven
election.
forbid.
I am.
Well,
Yeah,
I know. She's done a good job.
She's done a
Yeah.
really good job.
Yeah.
She's one of the sensible people on council. There's a few, but yeah, she's done a good job.
I have a listener that gave me some facts real quick on space debris, which is interesting. NASA space science debris is primarily tracked by the U.S. Space Intelligence Service. Well,
Okay.
I can't finish that because Sandy's calling. Let's talk to her real quick.
Okay.
Good morning, Sandy.
Good morning. I sent you a video called "Is Elon Musk a super villain or a genius?" And I think I sent it to you a few weeks back.
Okay.
But it'd be good if you. Okay, and if you haven't, did you get it today? Or
I haven't looked at it yet, but
right. But if you'd share with those guys, it might give insight on how Elon Musk is getting prepared so he could develop the moon and Mars.
right.
Oh, no question.
And it's a short, so it doesn't take very long for you to watch. I don't know if you'll have another commercial break or anything.
I don't have any commercial breaks. So
Well, sometimes you do something where like music's playing.
yeah, I
He has to
can.
go
I'll
to the
back away.
bathroom. He has to go to the bathroom.
I take a trip.
Okay, so that's what I was calling a commercial break.
Yeah, that's a
I don't
commercial
know
break.
what else to call it. And I think the big problem with the Democrats is they've decided that they're just going to lie. You were talking about Spamberger.
Yeah.
They're just going to lie. And so when it's real easy to deceive people, which obviously Spamberger did, I mean, what a deception. And now she's even claiming credit for something that the guy before her, the Republican guy, did.
Right.
Youngkin.
I
Yeah.
can't remember his.
Youngkin.
Youngkin.
Youngkin, right. So she's just a full-blown liar. We know Newsom is. Every time he's out there, he's lying. But I don't know how perceptive their followers are.
They don't
And
care.
it's just no, and they have decided they're going to lie. And they want to try to say that Trump lies, but that it's just not true. They're lying by saying that.
Right.
But I think that is their new way to campaign. We're just going to lie about everything, and hopefully the people will vote for us.
I don't think it's new, Sandy. I just think it's out in the open now. I don't think they hide it anymore.
Yeah, it's more exposed.
It's more exposed for sure.
Extreme. I think it's more extreme.
Yeah, it
than
is.
I
ever
think
been.
you're
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
And in terms of
You don't
President,
think they're doing it more so?
Oh, yes. Yes,
more
we all do.
lying, or-
No, we
Yes.
think it's more.
Okay.
Absolutely. But it's not new.
Yeah.
It's just a lot more visible, and they don't care if you know it or not. They'll look you right in the eye and do it.
and in
Oh
terms
yeah,
of
I know.
President
So what do we
Trump
do?
lying,
How do we get people?
he's just hyperbolic. I mean,
Well, we need to get people that aren't Democrats, Sandy. That's it.
Well, that's for sure.
well,
Yeah.
I
what's
knew
the-
that already.
What's the percentage of voters that are registered Democrats? About a third or less?
Something like
And
that.
about roughly the same for
1/3,
Republicans.
and the rest are independent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you
so-
can get the independents. Hopefully they'll be more perceptive.
I think that's happening.
Hopefully, I don't know.
I
It's just so terrible what she did. Everything was a lie. I'd like to ask my sister what her son thinks about it, but I want to be. I'm too
Yeah,
afraid
well, you don't want to fracture
I'm
the
too
family.
afraid to, because I'm pretty sure he's a Democrat. I'm trying to.
yeah.
I don't want to cause any problems. I know that sounds funny for me because I'm so outspoken, but I don't know. And I'd like to really know. Hey, what do you think about? Did you vote for her? Number one, and if you did vote for her, what do you think about all the lying? But I know I can't talk to him directly.
No. Keep
so
peace.
I probably won't.
Yeah.
I'll cower it out, keep it for the family. So,
Well,
but anyway, share that
I'll
short
do it.
video, look at it, and then I think you guys will be amazed. Maybe each one of you can look at it while somebody else is talking or something. It's that fast,
All right.
So anyway, I know I'm always telling people what to do. I'm working on that though.
okay.
So
You keep
take
it up.
care.
It's
Have
fun.
a great day
Thank you.
All right.
and a
Bye-bye.
great weekend.
Yeah,
All
thanks,
right.
Sandy.
Sandy. She reads a lot. Let me read that comment about space junk before and I'll send this to you guys so you guys can look at it. My phone's tied into this thing. NASA space science debris is primarily tracked by the U.S. Space Surveillance Network, operated by the U.S. Space Force, managed by U.S. Space Command, which monitors over 40,000 artificial objects. And England takes credit for it. No, they don't. That's not in there. They utilize global radar and optical sensors to catalog debris larger than a softball, with data often analyzed by the 18th Space Defense Squadron. There
There you go.
So 40,000
That's like a
objects.
career. They got career people watching.
I think that Musk just launched the 10,000th Starlink satellite.
So
10,000.
Maybe it's thousandth.
I
It
don't
could be
I
off
don't
of magnitude.
remember. Yeah, I don't remember how that.
I think it might be 10,000 though.
Wow.
And so you got 40,000 objects up there, but this is an area far bigger than the surface of the Earth. It's huge. So
Well, you're wrong, Dean.
Okay.
It's 11,500.
Is that your fact checker? Or did you just Google
I
it?
just Googled it real
Oh,
quick.
okay.
yeah. So
All right.
we've got 100,000 people, but almost 200,000 in the wintertime in Yuma.
Yeah.
And so put those people all over the whole Earth, and that's only a fraction of the volume that's in
Right.
space.
Yeah.
So they're pretty spread out.
Yeah. You picked up the 10,000 number because it's just over 10,000 that are actually active.
Okay.
Because some of those 11,500 are not working.
And some of them have already
Some of them-
fallen back.
Some of them
to
already
Earth.
come back home.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It
But-
is.
But his whole network is what? Wanting to be 20,000, I thought, or 20. I can't remember.
I have forgotten what the goal is, and they keep improving. The latest iteration is about 3 or 4 times as big as the earliest ones and has much greater capacity. And they're already offering service to almost the entire Earth. There are places where it's blocked, like Iran.
His plan is 42,000.
Okay. And I was just looking at, because I was thinking about a possible gift to my brother in northern Wisconsin, and he can get the lower level of home Starlink for starting at $35 a month.
Yeah.
Now it bumps up to $50 a month and after 4 months, but that's still not too bad.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a high quality internet connection.
Yeah.
And a lot of people here, pay more than that for cable.
Most people.
Most
do.
people.
Most
I was
people
going to say
do.
it's
Yeah.
higher than that.
Now, to get the highest quality, you have to get up to $135 a month, I think.
Okay.
But it's still not
that's-
that bad. That's about like a
but
cable bill. for
Most
a lot of
people don't need that so-called high quality because you're not going to do that much. You're not doing that much information.
You're right. I mean,
You're just going to watch Netflix.
well, that takes up a lot of bandwidth.
Wow.
I mean, movies are one of the things that takes up one of the most bandwidth on the internet because you have high quality images, one after another, thousands, hundreds of thousands of them. And so when I was growing up on the internet, I figured, well, if you could get a megabit, that's a lot. And now it's several megabits per second, or 100 megabits per second, or 200 megabits per second. I mean, it's just outrageous, the capacity we built into the internet now. And it's just getting more and more, faster and faster.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a gig at home. Gig connection.
Oh, you do? For
Yeah.
what?
Just so it waits faster.
Well, that's so that he and 4 other or maybe 5 other household members can all watch separate movies at the same time.
Yeah.
And at very high quality.
Yeah.
Well, you did it for work though, right?
Well, yeah, we do our work. We have our office there. So
because the radio station had real high volume because they
Yeah.
needed it.
Yeah. But and it was available. So that's what we did. Yeah. So the 2 of us do have our office and we both work there, and everything now is streaming.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing is, of course, that the advertisers want it.
Mhm.
I mean, try to go to anywhere and see anything without advertising being pumped at you.
Yeah.
High quality video advertising that takes up enormous amount of bandwidth, and which most people don't really want.
Mhm.
But you can't escape it. It used to be I could put a setting, 20 years ago, on my computer, no video.
Yeah.
Not anymore. It's almost impossible to block video now.
Even on your TV now, you have pop-ups. I mean, you'd be watching a show and all of a sudden in the corner will pop up an advertisement.
I never seen those, but that would be annoying.
That it is annoying. Yeah.
A friend of yours is on the front page of the paper this morning.
Yeah.
Henry Valenzuela.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, he's in it. He's got some real problems.
But he's on the ballot to be a councilman.
Yeah, he is.
And so the chance of him winning, when there's only 3 that are on the ballot, and there's 3 seats,
and then there's a write-in.
and a write-in.
Yeah, and a write-in.
But a write-in overcoming on the ballot stuff.
Well, so to get on the primary, what has to happen is the write-in has to get over 1,000 votes to get on the ballot in the general election, and then the other 3 candidates, all 3 of them, cannot get 50% of the vote.
Okay.
So
And let me ask you a question, because you probably know more than me on that one for sure.
Mhm.
When one person votes, you can vote for up to 3 candidates.
right,
So is that 3 votes or 1 vote?
3 votes. So yeah, so it's possible that all 3 could get in the primary, but we'll
But
just
you
have
can't
to see.
You can't put 3 votes to one person.
No,
No,
you
you
cannot.
can't.
No,
That's right.
You can't.
So if you want one particular person more than all the others, just
Right.
vote for that one.
So if half of the people voting vote all 3, boom, boom, boom,
Mhm.
all 3 get in.
Right.
And the write-in has no chance.
Yes,
I don't
that's
like
correct.
those odds as a write-in.
Yeah, I know. Well,
That's the problem.
Yeah.
yeah. So that's why, and I think you and I both found out about the Harry Valentino.
Years ago.
No, the Harry Valentino
Oh.
page that just popped up.
Yeah.
Just found out about that, about all the issues.
Well, yeah, it was sent to me, and then but I've heard a lot of the issues about it. I mean, I've heard about those issues for years.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but I've
Well,
heard about
you
some.
had them on your radio. And
I did. I've interviewed him a few times
yeah.
years ago
And
when he says, I'm just a guy with a calculator and I'm just asking questions. No, he was,
no. So
and he may end up being our next councilman.
yeah, so that's a real issue.
So you said there's 3 spots available
3 spots available
and
Yeah.
only 3 candidates so far and a possible right.
Well, it's,
and a write-in. Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
And I think, the door's pretty much closed on that's going to be it.
Yeah. So, it's,
But the article that came out, it's on the front page, which kind of nice.
I haven't seen it yet. But
It says the YPD investigated Henry Venezuela on the alleged allegations of unbecoming conduct, unsatisfactory performance, violation of rules, operating vehicles, falsification of records, truthfulness, and they were all sustained in the police department's investigation.
Yeah.
And
that's-
Henry says it's just a personal attack. He denies the accusations.
Well, these are public records.
I was going to say, you can't deny the records that are
No.
there.
They're there.
He denies the accusations. Like,
He can't deny it. I mean, he lost his badge. I mean,
Yeah.
that's so anyway. And yeah, it's so yeah, all those things. Well, the paper obviously wouldn't print that.
no,
Yeah, because they could get sued if it wasn't true.
right. They'd have to
So,
buy his library.
yeah. So it's
Yeah.
it's bad news. It's brought a lot of discredit on the police department, stuff like that. But hopefully,
It says here he also is alleged that he turned off or disabled or circumvented his GPS location multiple times to conceal his whereabouts. And of course, I've heard
not
that
showed up
before.
for- yes,
Known that.
heard that up. And yeah, I had heard that statement about pulling a Henry, not going into work.
Pulling a Henry, just
Pulling
it's
a
got its
Henry.
name. It's got its own name.
Yeah, skipping work and going.
But that's in the
to-
documents also.
It is. It is. It's actually documented in his record jacket.
Well, he says not true. I mean, not true. The accusations aren't true.
Well,
Wow.
they're black and white. They're documented in
It's-
his record jackets.
It's hard to fake turning off the GPS or not. I mean, because that's a technical thing, you know.
Well, and I read after somebody pointed it out, they actually put another GPS on his vehicle
Oh.
without him knowing it, so they could track him.
Wow.
Yeah. So it had been going on for a while, and they were tracking him. So he was going over.
Yeah.
I guess allegedly over to his.
Yeah, they were tracking his
girlfriend's
hours,
place.
what he turned in versus what he actually spent
Yeah.
and stuff.
And I will say that a lot of police officers don't like to be tracked by GPS.
Yeah. So there's two schools of thought, and here's what I'll tell you: the sheriff's office, they want the GPS because if they're in trouble, they want people to know where they're at, because as sheriff's deputies have a much bigger area that they have to patrol, and so they know exactly where they're at when the calls happen, where their vehicle is at, and so they can get to them and help them. And the only reason not to want your GPS on is if you're doing something that you're not supposed to be doing. You know, so if you're a YPD officer or a firefighter, because they have them too, you want people to know exactly where you're at in case something goes wrong.
Sure.
So
There's
they can
definite-
get there right away.
There are definite advantages to having GPS, but having known a large, significant number of officers
Mhm.
before GPS, one of the problems they suggested was, well, it's like having your supervisor looking over your shoulder all the time, and nobody is perfect, so that you will. So if somebody wants to come after you, they can go through hundreds of hours and find a lapse of some kind.
But not spending hours at your girlfriend's house.
Yeah, I
when you're
understand.
supposed to be on shift.
Sure. And, and that's one of the advantages of GPS is, and
Right.
you're not going to reverse this. GPS is going to be
No,
for
right.
all public servants eventually.
Mhm.
And many private individuals, truck drivers have it almost entirely now. Certainly taxi drivers, all that.
Right.
Privacy is, as we used to have it, was probably a
Oh.
short-term affair for 50 or 100 years where we had
Yeah.
some kinds of privacy. But back when we lived in villages, you had very little privacy either. Everybody knew what everybody else did almost all the time.
Sure.
So we're going back to something like that. The difference is that big organizations will have the data at their fingertips.
Right. And we put GPSs on our trash trucks, and it was to protect the driver of the trash truck, because he'll be driving on his route, and all of a sudden somebody will call in, "You didn't pick up my trash can."
Oh, you can
And-
tell him. I
And
was
you
there at
can
9:00.
No, I was there at 9:02. There was no trash can out in the front yard, and that happens all
And they
the
have
time.
cameras too.
Yeah, and the city usually is gracious and goes back and will
Oh,
send a truck to pick it up, even though they know that the
Yeah.
trash. The
even
trash
though
can
you said
wasn't
you're a
out.
liar, but I'll be back and pick it up anyway.
They don't say that. They just go back. And
Oh,
pick it
okay.
up. But
You guys
yeah,
are nicer than that.
yeah.
Henry Vent, he responds in the newspaper article
Oh yeah,
to that.
I'll have to read it.
Well, I'll tell you some of it. He said he was eventually exonerated and allowed to return to work, after investigations and 9 months on
probation or whatever.
duty. Him not working the hours. And he also says, I was a lieutenant. I didn't get paid by the hour. I was salaried.
Yeah,
It's not an excuse.
It's all garbage.
I
Yeah,
know.
when you have other captains and other lieutenants saying, where is he? I can't find him. He didn't report him to work
According to
and stuff.
article, supervisors went even to the police chief, Garrity, and said, look, he's
Well,
just,
they have recordings, voice
Yeah.
recordings of stuff.
but he's on retirement. He got retirement pay.
He was allowed to retire. Yep.
Wow.
So he'd been in the system for quite a while.
And he complains in here. He says, Chief Garrity decided to investigate me after I retired. I had no opportunity to defend against the false allegations. Sure, he has a right to.
That's not true.
I can't believe that's true.
That
But
is- no, if it's in his police file, it was while he was an officer, and it's not his first investigation. I can tell you that.
And he's complaining. He said the alleged investigation and the public release of the documents are personal attacks and attempts to defame my character. This is precisely why people are hesitant to seek public office. But I will not be deterred, intimidated, or silenced. As hardworking families in Yuma need someone who is fearless and will not stop working tirelessly for everyone in the Yuma community. What publicist wrote that for him?
Yeah, it's just bad all around. It's too bad.
It's going to happen, though. I
Well,
don't see how it's not going to happen.
he's going to run. Just see what happens.
He says, I'm the only one fighting to save Kennedy Pool.
So let's talk about Kennedy Pool.
Yeah, it hasn't been open for 5-6 years or
Yeah.
something.
So when I was still city administrator,
Yeah.
we were looking at closing Kennedy Pool because nobody went.
Okay.
We had hardly anybody went. And so what happened is, and Johnny Porter was part of this. The business community said, we will collect up money and we will pay some money to keep it open. And we put a lot of money in to keep it open because it's falling apart. And we will pay for everybody to go. So everybody can go for free. You know how many people showed up? Like 5. At
Wow.
3, 5. So, and I use the analogy, I want the Padres to come back here and play spring training. Well, that's not going to happen. And it's like Kennedy Pool back in the day was very popular, but it's not anymore. So we kept the pool open, I believe, for 2 years and it was free to go. And we had 3 to 5 people per day.
That's it.
Yeah. And people aren't using it. And so the decision was made then. I don't remember if we closed it while I was still there or after I left, but the decision was made to close it. We just can't keep, paying a lot of money to keep it open.
But that park is used huge. I mean, the
Yes.
hockey is used.
Yes.
And the skate is very popular. You expanded the skate.
And the parking's limited, and they have softball and soccer and
Right.
volleyball and
Horseshoes, which
hockey.
isn't big, but
no,
it's there.
but the hockey and stuff. And so
Yeah.
the pool, the concrete in the pool is broken, so it won't hold water anymore.
Mhm.
And all the piping, the PVC, all that kind of stuff I think it was put in the 60s. So it's 60 years old and it's sitting out in the
So
sun
what do you
and
think
heat.
needs to be done?
So they have an estimate of $14 million
Okay.
to basically the pool everything has to be torn out and put in a new pool.
Okay.
That's, and they have an estimate of like $14 million.
Well,
The issue is I don't want my city spending $14 million for 5 people. That's not a cost-effective use of my taxpayer
I get more
money.
more than 5 people in my daughter's pool.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think, they were right to close it because it's not being used. And it's a very expensive deal to keep a big pool like that open. And, the people that are saying, oh, we need to keep Penny Pool open, they're ignorant. They don't understand, the numbers and that kind of stuff. Maybe they can put a splash pad or something in there, for a cost to accommodate some of the younger kids, something like that. But it's just not a good location for, a pool.
How about the other pools in town? Do they get used?
Yes. Marcus. So turn to Marcus and Carver. And then what's the one at Cibola? Yuma Valley. Is it
Yeah,
Valley?
something like that.
Yeah, Valley Aquatic Center. So the Valley Aquatic Center gets used quite a bit, but that's because of the swim team, and so that one gets used quite a bit. And then the other pool that we heat, I believe it's Marcus. I think I'm going by what
Yeah.
it was, but they heat Marcus, and so that's used some. That's
Smaller pool.
and
Yeah.
stuff. It's a lot more cost effective. But yeah, it's just not as popular. It's like like you're saying, horseshoes.
That's not popular.
That's not popular anymore.
But you got like 10, 15 of those.
Yeah, but you're not going to build more of them.
No.
And
Build
it's the same
pickleball.
thing.
You've done that.
Yeah, pickleball. Those
That's
those
popular.
Yeah, and maybe that'll go by the wayside one day.
Yeah, when Dean gets older. Yeah.
And the tennis courts. I got the tennis courts, but and people are saying, "Oh, we want more tennis courts." Well, the tennis courts are used what they have, but I don't believe there's a huge demand for tennis courts.
Much more demand for pickleball and the RV parks. Well, that's
Right.
retirement. They figured that out. In fact, they'll dig up tennis courts to put pickleball in.
And so it's just a it's just a level of I remember back in the day, and and that's what it is.
Yeah.
And it's nonsense.
Well, I'm glad you explained that.
Yeah.
Because I thought outrageous. 'Cause I remember when I was a kid, we'd go to the pool.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, we didn't have internet.
And they don't. Yeah, that's the kids.
We didn't have one in the backyard.
Yeah, they're still doing skateboarding and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Inline hockey's really popular, and they have this-
Volleyball is used quite a bit over there,
Yeah,
and that's pretty cheap to the city.
yeah,
A
exactly.
couple nets.
But
some
yeah,
sand.
do you really want the city investing $14 million so 5 people can swim?
I think that's a legitimate argument.
Yeah.
Well, Valenzuela is going to buck you on. He's going to save the pool.
Yeah.
I don't think the
No, he's
council would.
No, there would probably be a referendum on it if he tried to do that, because it's so nonsense. I mean, we did officially, and we kept those numbers, and Debbie went and stuff kept those numbers,
Okay.
so we knew exactly what it was, because we were going to look at it, and we did, and we found out it's not cost effective. It's a waste. It's a waste of money.
Now, I remember Valenzuela when he was still a police officer, and he used to come in and talk to me because I was very interested in knowing more about the PAC, Pacific Avenue Athletic Complex. He was the one that was against it. Boondoggle, going to lose money, terrible. Fought it like crazy.
Yeah.
Made up all kinds of, statistics that just didn't make sense to me.
Lies. Yeah, he said we were spending police.
Yeah,
Police
all kinds
department
of stuff that was
money,
not
so-
ended up being true. And I
None of it
asked
was
around.
true.
I got copies of stuff, and it wasn't true. In fact,
Yeah.
I talked to you about it at the
Yeah.
time, and
Yeah.
that stuff just didn't hold up. And it's been one of the biggest successes.
Right.
It's just been a huge success.
And it's because, so what we did was we looked at first of all the areas of the city,
Yeah,
and we actually did an analysis. It's like, what do we have in different parts of the city to provide recreation in different parts of the city? And then we looked at what are we short? And it came up that we had all these softball teams and youth baseball teams that couldn't find a field to practice on and play on.
Right.
And so it came up that we were short a significant number of baseball fields. And that's why the athletic complex came up. And as you know, there was all kinds of, oh, no.
Oh,
And of course, and then as soon as we put it in, COVID hit
man.
after that.
Yeah,
And
you should have built 2 of them.
yes. And they were coming from California,
Well,
and the restaurant, even though I wasn't city manager anymore, the restaurant owners were calling me and saying, this is the only reason we're making it, because the teams are
Right.
coming in. And in fact, there's more events at the PAC than there are days of the year.
My daughter was doing the scheduling for the PAC at that point.
Yeah.
She was working for the city at that point.
Right.
And she turned away more than they accepted.
Right.
They just you don't have space for anymore.
Yeah.
And they had to reserve for the local teams.
And see, that's what I'm talking about. You do your analysis and stuff.
Yeah.
You don't shoot from the hip and say, oh, we gotta put in, let's put in 10 more pools because I know that
Somebody's wanting
Yeah.
to swim.
you actually have to go out there and look at what's going on.
Valenzuela not only is going to be the champion of the Kennedy Pool, he's going to be the champion of defund the spaceport.
Okay, so we can talk about the spaceport. You know, he's backwards on everything. I mean, I don't know how you get more backwards. So the spaceport, obviously the city has the land, but it would be developed by private companies coming in. So can you imagine down in, and this is down in South, it's in, I'm not going to say South County, but it's down Highway 95 a ways. The city has,
It's about 3 miles from the border.
right. And so it's an ideal location to be able to launch and put satellites in orbit. We're not talking about manned space flight,
No.
but it's a very ideal place.
Dean and I would still go down and watch the launches.
Yeah. But can you imagine the jobs that would be created, high paying jobs by going with the spaceport and the secondary jobs? It's like, okay, they got to build up these rockets and they got to build up the electronics and they got to bring them in and all that kind of stuff. It would be a tremendous
and the
boom.
infrastructure for us is not that much. I mean, it's a concrete pad.
Right.
You need space, and that's what I mean, land around it for safety reasons, and we've got that.
And they've done that analysis and stuff. So he's just he's way off base.
I don't know what his reason is for defunding the spaceport. That would actually would bring in business.
Yeah. And
I mean, they want to come bring their rockets in here.
yeah, and the city's not going to put a bunch of money in. They're not going to put a huge.
That's not going to
amount
be a
of
big
money in.
one.
No, and that's just stupid. You know, people that think they're experts. So you have on this thing on Facebook, you have, and it's getting to me. You have these people that think they know what they're talking about,
Right.
and they just start posting things. And a lot of times they're just out and out lies.
Are you
They're
talking
not
about people
true.
from The View?
that too? But
Yeah.
you know, they're just wrong information. You can't trust anything on there anymore, and you can't trust anything that these people put out. You have to, you know, I use Chat GPT and some of those other sources to verify, you know, information to try to double check, and it's like 90% of the time the information's wrong. It's like on this. I mean, he's way wrong on
What
it.
he explains.
I can tell you from experience that using AI to verify things, you've got to be very careful about what it says too, because I've seen an AI that I use, which is Grok 4.1, come up with outright falsehoods and then defend it.
Yes. And I have seen some wrong information come through in chat.
So you got to be very careful.
So
It's just a tool, though.
it is. It's
Question
a
is.
tool. But yeah, so I've seen all of this. You know, the data center is another thing that you have.
Is he against that too?
I don't know. But I've seen a bunch of posts about anti-data center. Oh, we can't do the data center.
Oh, I get it. I see it.
Yeah. And okay, first of all, if a data center is built, it's going to be private money.
Right.
The city's not going to pay for it. So it is going to generate, and you know, you can't make mistakes where you bring these big businesses in there and then you don't make them pay taxes. So it's all in the negotiation agreement. And then I heard another thing about water. It takes all
Water's
this water.
real.
So the city, and I'll give you the numbers. So the city has 50,000 acre feet of water.
Right.
Priority 3. They also have another 17,000 acre feet of priority 1 water. So the city uses about 28,000 acre feet of water. Then they get something called return flow credits for the water that they put back into the Colorado. And so the city really, out of its 67,000 acre feet, uses about 20,000 acre feet. That's it. So, and then somebody says, well, the data center will use 500,000 gallons of water for cooling a year. And it's
That's
like,
that's like
one little bit over 1.5 acre
I was
feet.
going to say it's not much.
It's like, it's not even
I left my
3%.
toilet running and used more than that, I think.
Yeah.
You built me for it.
Yeah. And so the other thing, and a lot of people don't know this because of the proposed location by Desert Dunes. So Palo Verde, you may know this. Palo Verde uses water that comes off of a wastewater treatment plant. And they
recycle it.
Yeah. And it is sparkling clean.
Right.
Well, Desert Dunes is a membrane plant. So the water that comes off of Desert Dunes right now is Class A water. So Class A water is the same water that we get off the river. I believe, though, the water that comes off of Desert Dunes, even this toilet, the tap, bothers people, is cleaner cleaner than
I
the
prefer
river
it.
water. I know it's cleaner than the river water.
Yes, it is.
And so
They pretty much RO that stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's what it is. A membrane plant. It's basically reverse osmosis.
Right.
And so what have we done with the water in the past? Well, we just let it go in the dirt and it perks into the ground.
Because there's laws against drinking it because of the yuck factor. Not that it's a problem.
There's not laws against drinking it because Tucson and other cities.
Well, there
do
used
that
to be.
already.
Maybe they've changed them.
But what they're doing now is you see the huge lake that's out there that's filled now.
Yeah.
That water is Class A water that came from desert dunes. It's clean, and then they're going to stock it with fish. So they're getting a use for the water. So if a council member was smart, what they would do is have the data center pay to run, and they call it a grape pipe, run a pipe from desert dunes to that plant, and then they could filter that and reuse that water and recycle it.
And it doesn't sound like they're that big a user then. If it's
No, it's.
But
not.
the other thing they say is it's going to take so much power. Now that's a fact.
That's a fact.
And the grid is being built for that,
right.
for Yuma.
And so right now in the
and we don't pay for that. That's APS.
Right. We don't pay for that. So people are saying that the cost will probably go up. Well, one of the big costs is transmission of power. So the only power plant that's located in the Yuma Valley is a peaking plant but that's actually for California.
I was going to say, is it still operational?
I don't know, but it's for California, but they built it in Arizona because it's difficult to build power plants in California with all the regulations. So they pipe. So all of our electricity that we have comes in from Palo Verde. We have some that come from the Hoover Dam, a couple of dam powers that parks in there, and then there's some out east, but it's all remote. So if a data center came in here and brought in their own power, then maybe we could have our own power here, and it's just as possible that the power could be cheaper or the same, or
Trump has talked specifically about data centers,
right,
and making them self-sufficient power-wise, so that local local cities don't get dinged by power shortages or power spikes or
exactly.
I don't know how you do that though. I mean, you're talking like what, compact nuclear or something, but
yeah, they already have some. Well, other
none
places
are in
the
operation
world,
in the United States.
Not in the United States. I think there's one at a university that they're doing some testing, but
and on a lot of naval ships and stuff.
Right. And there's a saying, about the water. So Yuma has no water issues. Okay. There is an Arizona shortage, but there's plenty of water, but there's just not plenty of cheap water off the Colorado. That's the issue.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because, and people may not know it, but we have a huge source of water, a water mound here in the valley. However, it's salty, so it would have to be desaled, and that, of course, desalination is expensive, and everybody wants our water because it's cheap. But
right.
California could make tons of water off of the ocean, but they don't want to pay.
Free water is better than any water you pay for.
Yes, that's right. It's like free beer, favorite kind of beer.
Right, it's free.
Yeah.
It's free. But this desalination, and I checked it again the other day. In Israel, they're doing like $500 an acre foot to desalinate.
That's pretty cheap.
That's crazy cheap.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the numbers we've received even 5-10 years ago was $2,000 to $3,000 an acre foot, but that's not true anymore.
No,
the technology's changed and the ability to do it's changed.
Yeah, and the cities, if I remember right, the city has the rights to the water, so the water's actually free, but they have to pay $20 an acre foot or something to wheel the water. To get the water here.
Pretty cheap.
So at Desert Dunes, we are literally, up until the time we built the lake, we're literally just letting the water go and perk into the ground.
Well, they eject it into the ground.
Yeah,
they
throw it out there and they just let it go.
Far West used to inject it into the ground. They have the same systems where it's RO'd, it's drinking water.
Right.
And back when I used to do a lot of work with them, they just had a pipe that would go down into the ground and just inject it.
Yeah. Because
they couldn't put it in the water system. It was illegal for them to do it at that time.
Yeah.
You couldn't.
Yeah. Well, so the city's water plant. So the trying to remember. So Figueroa is not a membrane plant out there. And so they have to go through a separate process, and then it goes into the river, and they have a mixing zone and all this other kind of stuff. Whereas Desert Dunes, completely different. Desert Dunes has membranes very similar to what they
Far
do
west.
at Agua Viva on the water side.
Yeah.
It's the reverse osmosis on the water side. And the same thing at Desert Dunes, they use membranes and do the, that's how they cleanse the water.
Yeah. Any idea of the cost for Desert Dunes for that?
For the water?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, once it goes
water's a
through the
byproduct.
system, it takes.
Right now it's free.
Free.
They're just perking it into the ground.
Yeah,
But-
they don't put
but
a
it
cost
cost
on
them
it.
something to put it through the system.
Yeah. And, I've talked with some of the ag guys. So the huge users are these agriculture processing plants when they wash the fruit and all that kind of stuff. And I had talked to a few of them. We were trying to come up with a way, they will filter the water to take out the fibers and all that kind of stuff to reuse that water for irrigation and that kind of stuff. And we never kind of got there because there's still plenty of water. But these processing plants use large amounts of water, and you can see the sprinklers running out there. They just throw it out in the ground and let it evaporate and perk into the ground. And so that's another source of water. But where the proposed location of the data center is, and Desert Dunes are very, very close. So it would not.
Of course, we have no contracts with the data center.
Right. There is no data center right now.
No, but there's
it's
a proposed space.
Yeah. But the reason I put it out there is because, these people on the internet and Facebook and stuff are talking from uninformed.
Yeah.
I will say they're uninformed.
Right.
And somebody's taking up this position with no data centers. Well, those are whatever the construction jobs are, great paying jobs, and whatever jobs that the data center needs, those are going to be $100,000 a year jobs probably. And so that's going to add to the economy, plus the taxes and that kind of stuff. Now, yes, when they come in, you need to stay on the city council or the board of supervisors or whoever and make sure that they don't,
sign away our future.
Sign away the future by saying, "Oh, no property taxes or
forever."
And that can't happen. Now, you do want to make incentives to bring them here because it creates jobs.
Sure.
And I'll do the example of like the eggplant. I mean, when we went to recruit the eggplant here, we did some things to help them. And same thing with some of the call centers and stuff like that.
And the mall, when the mall went in.
Yeah. But you do that to entice them to get them here, but you don't mortgage your future.
No.
Yeah. So you just get the incentives help to offset some of their costs so they can come in and put it here, and then you reap the benefits. But, increasing the tax base, helps schools, all that kind of stuff. And so it's, I think before you listen to these people online, you need to get facts.
Right.
And it's like the thing with Valenzuela. It's like, it's on the front page of the paper. I mean, those are facts. You need to get the facts to know about.
Well, he says it's just a
candidates.
personal attack because he's wanting to do things for the people, like cut taxes. What taxes does he want to cut? Do you know?
Well, he cut taxes while he wants to pay police officers more and
he wants to pay him more, but cut taxes.
Build Kennedy Pool.
He better get that
and do
calculator
all this
back
other kind
out.
of stuff. Yeah, it's like Mondami. Mondami's out there. Oh yeah, free everything for everybody, and
So is Mondami his middle name now? Henry Mondami Valenzuela.
I don't know.
He says, despite the personal attacks, I will continue to fully support public safety and make sure they are treated with the respect and dignity they deserve. Why is he doing it then? It's not for the $300 a month.
I've been told a few rumors. I'm going to leave those alone.
Yeah, you don't want to put rumors out there, then you would get in trouble.
Yeah, but we have a great police chief, and he's doing a lot to clean up the police department, and I'm a huge supporter of law enforcement, fire, public safety. I've always been. In fact, I volunteer and still help out for no money with Leon in YRCS, the sheriff's office and stuff. And I haven't gone to the last couple of meetings, but I help them out whenever I can.
Venezuela says most of the men and women who work for investigation and crimes are good people. Some bad apples at the top should not ruin the reputation of the whole department.
There's his agenda. There is his agenda.
He put it out there.
Yep, that's his agenda.
Yeah, bad apples at the top.
Yeah, and the chief they got right now is doing a really good job. Hey, I wish I had him. Yeah.
Garrity.
Yeah, he's doing a great job.
I don't know much about him, but I haven't heard anything that causes concern.
No, he's doing a great job. He doesn't get involved in all the riffraff and this kind of garbage going on, and he wants his officers to demonstrate honor and integrity and stuff like that. And he's getting rid of the ones that don't.
I was reminded the other day of a rumor about you.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to bring it up.
Good.
That you bought a Tesla back when you were city manager, and then put a recharging station at the city hall, so you could use it.
Oh, there you go.
But it doesn't make any sense, because I know if you're only driving around town, you just charge it at home. You never need to.
Right.
Why would you need a charging station at work?
Yeah.
Unless you traveled a long way.
Oh, well, they didn't say that the city bought the Tesla for me. Is that what?
No, they didn't say that. No.
Well, yeah, that was one of the. So.
They thought the city bought it for you?
Yeah, they said.
Well, some city managers get a vehicle.
They do,
but that's not a personal. I mean, they'll give it to you.
Yeah. So I did have a vehicle that I used for work when I traveled.
Right.
That's
so you didn't drive your personal vehicle to Phoenix or something.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. I did have
same when I was a supervisor. There were in the carpool. There were some cars.
Yep,
If when I drove to Phoenix on business, we could
did use and a lot of the vehicles were really beat up. So we did get a car that was used by myself and some others that we travel in because we don't like getting in vehicles that got tar all over the seats and.
But they didn't give you a Tesla to take home and
no.
Okay. I knew that.
And they didn't buy a truck for Ricky, and they didn't pay for my vacation down to Panama or any of that stuff. No, it's those are all things that, guys
I'm
like
gonna have to check the record. I don't know if I can believe you.
Yeah. Tom Kelly and, all the.
Oh, I remember.
The miserable,
So to segue to something else, how do you like your Tesla?
Oh, I love it. I just bought
Which
new
model
one.
was it?
So I bought in 2017, I bought a Model 3, and I just traded that in after, I guess it's been 9 years. So I bought a Model Y because the Model 3 is a little bit harder to get in and out. It's more like a sports
And he's
car.
older.
Yeah, and I'm older now.
Yeah,
The Model Y is bigger, and it's got in my Model 3, they upgraded for free from the server in there in the car that runs the car. Was version 2. They upgraded it to 3, and now this one that I have is just like all the servers, everything gets faster and faster.
So is this a version 4 now?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's
4.
supposed to be the latest, greatest.
Yeah.
And does it have full self-driving?
I do.
Oh, how do you like it?
Oh, I love it. So
that's what I hear.
I probably have 500 miles on the car, and I would say at least 400 has been on autopilot.
So you just program where you're going home or something like you do on your phone, like hit home, take me home, James. And
Yep. And it takes you home.
Can you do it? Can you do it orally? Or
Yes.
I mean, you can.
Yes.
You could just say, Tesla, take me home.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Do you have to click your heels together or anything?
Something like that.
I've heard
No,
they just upgraded to 14.3.
So you get upgrades. I haven't had an upgrade since I bought this a couple of weeks ago, but they upgrade at least once a month, every couple of weeks, to take care of like little minor issues. But like even with my old car, the Model 3, I'll be at the driveway, and I usually engage it when I get to the interstate, but you can do it right from your door. And the last time I let it navigate through the high traffic, through rush hour, and it was amazing.
Were you nervous?
A little bit until I watched it the first couple of moves. But yeah, it was moving in and out of traffic and selecting lanes because it can see everything. It's got 8 cameras, and it also has, as you know,
Yeah, we have to use mirrors and stuff.
Yeah,
It's got 8 eyes looking everywhere.
Yeah. And so in fact, it even there was even some roadkill in the road. And so I was going along and the truck swerved to the right. And I'm like, and I looked and I was getting ready to grab the wheel. And so my car then swerved to the right of lane, drove around it. And then there was another one where it was just me and it saw the roadkill on the road and maneuvered the car around it. Now it did hit a flat piece of styrofoam it ran over that it didn't see, but yeah, so it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I've been reading some reviews of this, just came out the last 2 days or so, and it takes a while for an upgrade to reach everyone. And this was some people that had got early versions, and they said that it was a significant jump up. They said, but it's a little short of complete autonomy. They said,
so you're not complete.
So what they say, so you used to have to touch the wheel. You don't have to do that anymore. So it has a camera that watches to make sure
so
that
you can't sleep.
You can't sleep.
But but that should be coming with a called unsupervised,
exactly,
full self-driving.
Yeah,
and they're doing some of that with robotaxis in Austin and maybe a couple other places, but that's still like in the early stages.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if it reaches ordinary customers within a year or maybe 2.
I think so, because it's really close. Like, I mean, it will, if I come in a left turn into my driveway, the car will actually drive right up to my garage door. But if I come from the right, it won't make that right turn into the garage. It just pulls over to the curb and stops and lets me take over. So it won't actually drive into the garage. And that's a bummer. No.
Yeah. Well, you're going to trade it in now.
But it does automatically open up the garage door and close the garage door when you
But
leave.
it makes you take that last.
If you have that last feet to put
You have to do it manually
inside the garage.
When I was thinking about this a couple of years ago, I thought I'd be real happy if it just did it on the interstate.
You know, it's and what I'll say is, like, you know, when you get tired after a while, you're driving a long time with the Tesla, you really don't.
Yeah, because you don't have to have the intensity of driving.
And it does when you first get it. Like when I first got my Model 3, it took a little bit for me to relax, you know, to make sure. Now, I will tell you that probably over the last year, it has gotten itself, it was going to miss two exits in the last year where it didn't get over to take the exit, and I had to take control of it to hit the exit, but it's missed the 2 exits.
But that's the type of thing that is tremendously improved with this next iteration, I hear.
Yep.
So have you got a pair of glasses with your eyes painted on them yet so you could take a nap while you're driving?
That's an interesting thought.
So you do have that. I do wear, and it does work with sunglasses and stuff too. So I notice what it mainly looks for, I think, is when you're like looking away. When you look away for a period of time. Or if it sees your cell phone, if you're holding your cell phone up and doing stuff on your cell phone while you're driving.
But you got hand-free cell phone service in the car. So they don't want you reading messages or something.
This is your key too.
Okay.
It gets in and sees you when you come up to the car.
But you can't lose your keys.
Yeah, that's right.
It's hard to steal Teslas.
Yeah. Now you do have a credit card that you can use. You know, if your cell phone dies, you carry a credit card, you know, in your wallet.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a Tesla credit card.
If you had to estimate the price of gas, you know, if you made a comparison, I mean, I've heard things like it's about the equivalent of 50 cents a gallon or something.
Yeah.
It's hard.
So, well, it varies. So the biggest thing is, so you can program your car when you want it to charge.
Right.
And so in the winter in Yuma, I believe you pay 3 cents a kilowatt hour from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
3 a.m. You mean?
Yeah. 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. You pay, I think it's 3 cents a kilowatt hour.
Pay less when the sun's shining?
Yes. You pay. Yes. So they have, it's super off peak. So if you charge during that time, I mean,
yeah, it's very cheap.
It's very cheap. And then I think we pay up to 24 cents on peak. I think that's what the fee is, 24 cents kilowatt hour. But you can actually program your car. You just plug it in and it will automatically charge.
Especially if you're only driving around town, you're not using that many
Yeah,
miles.
it's perfect. I mean, I go, my car has a range of 357 miles, and that's at 65 miles an hour. And I'm not going to say I don't go 65 miles an hour, but I don't go 65 miles an hour on the interstate.
Yeah.
But yeah, so but I'll drive like to Gila Bend, and I'll stop.
And air conditioner's going to shorten heaters, air
it's
conditioners.
Actually, the heater. The heater is the worst. So my seats are air conditioned, and the car's air conditioned.
Yeah.
And air conditioning is not as bad as the heater, but when you turn the heater on, it tends to suck more power.
Yeah.
Air
Wear a
conditioning.
jacket.
Yeah, air conditioning is not so bad.
So how much do you think that knocks off out of the 360? You think?
Oh, I don't know, maybe 10, 15%, maybe.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But
It's a difference.
I've
Yeah.
also seen on these Model Ys, some of them have what they call the camper option.
Yeah.
And so the battery has so much power in it relatively that you can run the air conditioner all night and sleep in the car, and it's only uses 10% of what your battery is.
Right. Yeah.
So it's really a fantastic option for
and-
traveling.
yeah, and you can set, like in my car, I can set up so my car will never get over a certain temperature. Like I have it set at 100 degrees right now, so the air conditioning will come on if the car inside of the car gets over 100 degrees. And you have Joe mode, so you can put your dog in there and set up your dog mode, keeps the air conditioner.
You'd still get
going.
arrested. I mean, people are sensitive about that.
Yeah, but the air conditioner's on, so if you do, I don't have a dog, so
So you never let it get above. Wow, that's got to save wear and tear on that car, because a car get up to 120, 130, easy.
150,
150.
Yeah, you can get that
easy.
inside because
Yeah.
of the solar load
And that
goes on it.
just really deteriorates that interior much
Yeah.
quicker.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that's on all cars. So
Yeah, it sounds like you like this car.
I do.
Oh, he wouldn't have bought
So-
another one.
Yeah. So the big thing is, I would not want to have two electric cars. I would always want to have one gas car and one electric car, which is what we have.
Right.
Just because, in eventuality, like we had that 3-day power outage.
Right.
That could, if you had to drive someplace and stuff,
Small
that could cause-
possibility, but
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
exists.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the
And-
other side is some of the electric vehicles have an inverter on them
Mhm.
where they can supply power. So if you had your car and 3 days of power is out, you potentially could power your house off the car.
Yeah, and that's the Cybertruck is actually built for that. But yeah, so there's not, the maintenance cost is really the biggest thing. Like I had my car for 9 years. I went through, a few sets of tires, changed the windshield wipers once. Trying to think if I did. I had one repair on a seat module that I had to do, but that was it. No oil changes. I added windshield washer fluid.
Oh, yeah, that's expensive.
But that's it. So
I'm now this is personal. You certainly do not have to answer, but how did you do with the trade-in?
so I bought my Model 3 for 52, and I got 10.8 for the trade-in
After 9 years of use.
after 9 years. Yeah,
But the 52 included autopilot, which transferred.
and I transferred the autopilot, which cost, then it was 15 grand. Now it's 8. And in fact, one of the reasons why I bought now is because Elon's changing.
Yeah.
He's following the Microsoft thing where
Right.
it's a subscription instead of you
Yeah.
own it. So that's why I bought this, and I transferred it. So I have lifetime autopilot.
Yeah, which now is probably full self-driving. I think they stopped the autopilot name.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting. And following this thing that's going on with the Donut Lab battery, I mean, it looks to me, whether it's Donut Lab or whether it's Toyota or whoever, we're going to see vast improvements in batteries
Mhm.
in the next year or two.
Yeah.
Well, wait,
And one of the things with this is they recommend you charge to 80%.
Right.
And recharge before you go below 20. That's kind of the range you keep.
Right.
And that's with batteries.
for longevity.
Yeah.
Did you do that with your 3?
I tried to most of the time.
Okay.
Yeah. So
But-
I probably lost over 9 years. I probably lost 15% of
Yeah.
the battery life.
It,
Something
it
like
sounds to me that somebody's going to get a Model 3 for a good deal.
Don't know.
that. Yeah,
So
the outside, inside of the car was actually in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
For a 9-year-old
I mean, if you're going
car.
to drive it around town,
Mhm.
maybe occasionally to Phoenix, sounds like it'd work just fine.
How long does it take to charge up to 80% in the new car? If you're at a fast charger
Fast charger, 20-25 minutes.
for all the way up to 80.
Yeah, probably something like that. You pull in, you got to charge on the battery. Like I'll pull into Gila Bend and go into plug in, go into Jack in the Box, use the bathroom, grab a burger, and I barely have enough time to finish the burger, and the car is usually done.
It's ready to go.
And all that's getting better, faster.
It is.
But for you to do a round trip to Capitol, or say you go to the Capitol in Phoenix and came back home, you probably could squeak by and not have any additional charging.
Yeah, for sure. I could make it all the way to the Capitol, and then I'd have to charge someplace before I came home.
Oh, you would?
I can make it all the way, but I don't like to do that.
Yeah.
Because
I
you got,
just-
but you wouldn't have to do a full charge. You could probably top
Yeah.
get an extra 50 miles or something to make sure
Yeah.
you got plenty
Yeah.
of extra.
But like I'll stop at Gila Bend going out, then I'll go up to the cities, Mesa, whatever, and then I'll turn around, come back, and I'll stop at Gila Bend again on the way home. And that's usually you have to,
No,
we're
no.
old, so we have to use a bathroom and stuff like that
That's a
anyway.
fact.
So
But when you charge at those superchargers, it's pricier.
it is. It's I think they're doing peak. It's 37 cents a kilowatt hour.
Would that equate to still cheaper than gas, or
It's a little bit cheaper. It's still
But-
it's pretty close.
but that's not what you want to do on a daily basis?
No, I only use superchargers when I'm on
When you're traveling.
long trips. Yeah. And I try to charge as much as I can in super off peak.
Now, a lot of people take them coast to coast. Would you drive it to New York?
I wouldn't drive that anymore. That's why they have airplanes.
Well, if you were going to drive to New York, would you be willing to drive your Model Y?
Yeah.
I think that's the
You
question.
could make, yeah. And it programs you, it tells you where the chargers are, tells you
Yeah.
how many minutes you need to charge before you go to the next one.
Yeah, because
and
it's
that kind
got a
of stuff.
network. It's all plugged into
It
the
is.
to the Tesla network, and
But-
it knows
yeah.
where all the chargers are, how busy they are, what's available.
And if you ever need help, you just hit a button, calls Tesla, and they're right there. It's like, okay, what do you need? It's like, okay, well, I see you got your lights on and da 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 da, and so they can see everything that's going on in the car in case you
Yeah.
ever have an issue.
Getting that privacy thing.
There's
You
no
like that?
privacy.
There's no privacy anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, the number one thing now is if something happens, everybody looks around. Who's got the cell phone? Who's taking the pictures? who's-
right.
Where the cameras are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you call Tesla and say, I can't find my reading glasses? And they say, oh, they're on the seat next to you.
That's not so far off. Really, I think that's part of the reason the crime rates are dropping too.
Mhm.
It's just hard to get away from crime anymore
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
the crime. I mean,
Yeah.
because there's so many cameras out
Yep.
there, and then they're all watching, and they get fed into networks.
And everybody's carrying a tracking device.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, if you are going to commit crimes, you have to have some smarts about doing it.
Mhm.
You have to don't have your phone with you. I
Huh.
mean,
Yeah.
don't post it on social media.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen that. I was astounded by it when I've been writing about this kind of stuff, and people would post crimes on social media. Look at all this money I got from drug dealing. It's just crazy stuff. And then they're surprised when they get,
They get caught.
arrested.
Yeah. So anybody hates your Tesla? I mean, like for a while they were beating up Teslas, scratching them because they hated Musk. You didn't have that problem, did you?
No, I did not.
And-
My wife's license plate got scratched though.
The
It was-
license plate?
Her license plate on a car because it says "got ammo."
God.
Really? That's kind of weird.
Well, then that's and that's what's interesting. With Musk. I mean, he was like the left.
Oh,
poster
hero.
child.
Yeah. He was.
And then-
They loved him
Yeah,
until.
and then he went and and I think things are settling back down on that.
Oh, yeah.
because, yeah, but and I didn't buy the Tesla because it was green or anything like that. I just like the tech. I was an IT guy and I liked the tech and the autopilot, as you get older.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
And
I wanted a fully unsupervised autopilot because I want to be able to work or sleep when I go on a long trip.
yeah, and the cameras in the new car are, I believe, very high def cameras.
Oh, yeah.
It's crystal clear video and stuff. And I can pull them up on the phone, and you got Sentry mode. So when your car is parked, all the cameras are sensing. And if anybody comes close to your car, it takes pictures of them.
Right. Now, when you had the old lead acid batteries in an ICE car, it might be a question of how much juice you have, but you're just operating off a fraction of 1% that's available to an electric car.
Yeah. Everything's LEDs and low.
Oh, yeah. Takes relatively low amount of juice, and it just operates all the time.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you want to steal a car, don't steal a Tesla.
Oh, no. I understand that they just don't get stolen because people are caught right away.
Yeah.
And the same with the vandalism against Teslas.
Well, and I can look on my phone. I can tell you exactly where my car is. In fact, I'll admit to this every once in a while.
You forget
parking at Walmart or a stadium or something like that. It's like,
Yeah.
oh crap, where was my car? But I don't have to worry about that. I just pull up the thing and it walks me right to my car.
See, and it
right
won't,
to the space.
I don't think it'll be much longer. I think this might happen within 6 months that you say, come get me, and the car will come to you.
Actually, you can do that now.
It didn't take 6 months.
Yeah. So there's an app on my phone that it's called Summons.
And that's legal in the state.
Yeah.
In a parking lot,
And-
it's not covered by the auto rules.
And you can
Okay.
click on it, your location, and say,
But
summon the car.
if your car was at home right now and you put come get me, it's not going to do it.
I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to
Let's
test
experiment.
I don't
it.
know.
I don't know the limitations on it so far, but I know within a parking lot it'll come get you.
Okay, you don't know if it'll go on the roads.
I don't like to do that though, because it's my car and I don't want any scratches on it. But so far it hasn't done that.
Yeah.
I think that would just be so helpful for a lot of people. Just think of people who have disabilities that have a hard time getting into and out of a car, that have a hard time driving, blind people. I mean, the potential for significant ease of life and increase of quality of life for a lot of people with a vehicle that can drive itself is enormous.
You could see your kids more in Texas.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. It'd be a lot easier ride.
It already is. Now I have this Hyundai that I bought new, and I love it. It's a great car, but probably the next car I get will probably be a Tesla.
Yeah.
So, and my wife just got a Lincoln, and her, and it has a lot of the cars now have the lane keeping thing, but she has, it's called Blue Cruise that Ford has come out with, and it's not near what Tesla is, but it does some of the things.
Right. Yeah, the same thing with the Hyundai. I mean, I can relax a lot more because if you're not paying attention for just a few seconds, it doesn't make much difference.
No.
Especially on the interstate, where things are usually well marked, traffic's in one direction. It's a much simpler problem to solve autonomous driving on the interstate than it is in a crowded urban environment with complex intersections and all that.
Yeah.
What?
So one of the things, going back to the election, because that's where we started. I don't know how we got on the Tesla.
Because I said I want to segue because I'm interested in your Tesla.
But yeah, Derek Egbert's the write-in for the write-in. So there are 4 candidates, and people just need to remember that.
Write it in.
Write his name in. Yep.
Well, I met Derek. This is his place here we're
Right.
at.
It is.
And I like him, so I'm gonna, for whatever it's worth, I'm saying, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
So anyway,
As long as we're talking about auto driving and all that stuff, there's been more and more autonomous free cars out there. In fact, there's some taxi services in some states that they're testing.
and Elon's the Waymo. We've
Yeah.
taken Waymo up in Phoenix, and I think they're LA or San Francisco or something. And now Elon's just got, I think he's got robo-taxis in Las Vegas now.
I didn't know he started it. I know
They
it's
were
coming.
talking about him coming out in Dallas and Phoenix and I think Las Vegas and maybe another city, maybe Houston, I forget, but there were several cities they were going to expand to out of Austin. They're in Austin right now.
Tesla, from my understanding, they're going to make taxis that don't even have a steering wheel. Do they do that?
That's the next taxi, the robo taxi. Yeah.
There's no way to pilot the car, even if you wanted to.
Yeah. Well, and I think one of the concerns is like with Waymo, what happens if somebody jumps in the driver's seat and tries to take control of the Waymo? I don't know if they can do that. I don't know the
Well, we
controls,
know what
but-
happens because I've seen some videos on this with a Tesla. It'll pull over to the side of the road and summon help.
Help me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're doing a lot of places where these Uber Eats is delivering. In Philadelphia, they're doing one.
So I'm trying to remember where I was at, but I was sitting there. I think it was up in Phoenix or something, and I saw one of these
Shopping cart looking things.
shopping cart thing driving down the sidewalk, and I'm like, oh my God, it's here.
Yeah.
Robots driving your food down the sidewalk. It's like weird.
That's what they've got in Philadelphia. They just started it, and it's Uber Eats, and they just put it up as a demo, as future. And the people are rude to it.
Well, there's some neighborhoods where they're destroying them and taking the stuff, which is really stupid. But
well, if it's anything like Tesla, they know, they see it,
Mm-hmm.
and there's GPS and all that stuff.
Yeah.
The first time it went out there, some humans, they call them humans. Some humans quickly began resenting the automated couriers, kicking it, standing in front of it, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Second time, it was toppled over. They kicked it over. Now, the kicking incident occurred just after another viral incident in which someone sat on one. and now, according to their the company, they write, when delivery robots are introduced into a new area, it's quite common to see heightened curiosity from people around them.
Mm-hmm.
Some may try to test how the robot reacts, for example, by stepping in front of it or attempting to interact with it directly.
Yeah.
This is known and it's expected phase as people get used to the technology. These few cases of vandalism in Philadelphia did not affect our service area expansion plans. The robots are designed to respond conservatively. In most cases, they will simply stop and wait if someone approaches or interferes, resuming the route only once the interaction has ended. In practice, these moments are usually brief. People tend to satisfy their curiosity within a minute or so, and they move on. At the same time, we do not condone intentional damage or unsafe behavior towards robots.
Yeah. And I saw that when it was moving down the sidewalk. It was anytime a person got near it, it just kind of stopped and paused.
Well, I think it's Sam's Club has a floor cleaner.
Yeah.
That's always operational.
Yeah. And I was at a restaurant in Myrtle Beach where the food came from the kitchen on a robot and delivered it to the table. And then the server came and took it off the robot, and put it on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they do that at the Pho restaurant, Saigon Pho.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they had one. Which that restaurant's no bigger than this office. I was wondering why.
Well, another thing that I've
cool.
seen read recently is that Waymo used a different kind of programming than Tesla does.
Yeah.
And that theirs was basically coded lines, whereas Tesla is more like a neural network, and it's a much more versatile program. And then what I read was that Waymo has now said, we're going to switch. We're going to switch from our code-based program to a neural program.
Oh, really?
Yes. But
That's not a small switch.
no, it isn't. And of course, Tesla already has years of experience lead in that.
Mm-hmm.
Hundreds of thousands of hours of experience in all these cars have been
maybe
collecting
millions.
data.
Yeah.
And they input the data and they learn.
Yeah. The same.
They learn, and that's how they fix all the
And you're getting
issues.
constant updates. So if they learn a flaw or something that needs to be checked,
It comes in over Wi-Fi. I have it connected to the Wi-Fi at home, so I pull in the garage and it will update at night whenever I want.
Hopefully you get your name known. You get to be involved in an incident that requires an update.
Well, I expect that all of these will be connected through Starlink eventually.
Yeah, and part of the issue when I was having was they have this thing called phantom braking.
Yeah,
so
I've heard about
that was an issue. I haven't had an issue with now or lately, but they used to be, and I think it was because in the heat of the summer and the heat waves coming up off the road, the car cameras would pick that up as being
Yeah, mirage.
Something's there, and it would start breaking, and that was obnoxious, to be honest. But I haven't had that issue lately. We'll see this next summer.
Hopefully not.
Yeah.
There's a PhD student in social psychology named Lindsay. She's part of the Temple University Robot Social Navigation Amongst Pedestrians team.
Okay.
Didn't know you had such a thing.
Well, it makes sense.
She said the frustration with the robots is not new, just aims at a new target. Just as pedestrians can be frustrated with fellow humans who walk slowly or are looking at their phones, they can also take issue with the delivery robots. The delivery robots have been deployed to dozens of cities across the U.S., including Austin, Dallas, New Jersey. The robots keep the order secure by requiring customers to unlock the cargo through the Uber Eats app. And then it immediately is notified if somebody tampers with or tries to steal the device. The cargo compartment of each delivery robot is securely locked and can only be opened by the intended recipient. If anyone attempts to unauthorized access or tries to steal the robot, it triggers an alert to our remote operator. The operator will immediately connect to the robot's sensory feed to evaluate the situation and take appropriate action to secure it. I wonder what that is, this appropriate action. Is it?
It's a good question. And it probably depends on the location. If you were having a lot of these issues, I'd have a private security team, or maybe make arrangements with the police that they would send somebody right away.
They also can take control of the robot and manually drive it.
Yeah, move it away, whatever.
Move it away, whatever they got to do. The delivery service is available from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. in certain neighborhoods. And it uses LiDAR sensors, and Tesla doesn't do that.
No, they use cameras.
Yeah, they used to. They used to have some, but they stopped that. They figured they didn't need it anymore.
Right. It does use cameras too.
Yeah.
That's why I say if you come up and mess with it, they got your picture.
Yeah, and that's what's kind of stupid, because they have it, and it's remote fed into the cloud back to them, so it's immediate feed.
This one only goes 5 miles an hour, so if you're out in Welton, you're not going to get your lunch on time.
Well, it depends where it starts from.
Well, they have the aerial drones now.
They do those.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of them Amazon was doing that.
They were working some places.
Well,
I know it was in Minnesota. They were taking 6-pack of beer to ice houses out on the lake. You could order a 6-pack of beer and it would fly out on the water and
and deliver somebody ice fishing.
Yeah.
Yep. I've seen some video. It was over a year ago where there were some deliveries. I think it was in Sydney, Australia, and there are limitations to drones that fly. If you have significant weather and windy conditions, it can cause problems.
This local owner of a store, High Low Taco, is using this. He thinks its ability to deliver food is better for us. Certainly, if it's raining, because if it's raining, people don't want to go out. This thing works in the rain.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So when it rains, it's a good thing for him. He said, "Good, we'll have more deliveries because our robots are waterproof, I guess."
Yeah.
Well, you consider what the cost of a driver is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And who knows, but I suspect these can deliver to more than one location at a time, maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe they have a route.
They'd look pretty small. I saw the pictures. They weren't really big.
Oh, the ones I saw were just like, it was a small cooler.
Yeah. So if it only has one compartment, that would be pretty much one customer.
But I guess you could have multiple compartments. Yeah.
You could. I don't know. Somebody's still got to load the robots. I guess you got to get a robot to do that.
Well, eventually, maybe.
Well, in California, since they can't afford to pay their workers because the minimum wage is so high.
That's a big incentive to go to robots.
Yeah. A lot of the restaurants now use the kiosks and stuff.
Something about the restaurants. I read the story the other day on it, and I asked around town a little bit about it. But Ozempic is killing the farming industry and restaurant business. And I thought that was, I was saying it.
What?
The story came out of England where this potato farmer had tens of thousands of pounds of potatoes that nobody wants because too many people are going to the restaurant, and a couple will order one order of fries between the two of them. Nobody's eating the potato chips.
Yeah.
And they're all on this Ozempic, and he just hates Ozempic. And
low carb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he said, and then they interviewed a lot of local restaurants and said, yeah, it's been terrible for us.
Yeah.
Business is down because all these people are taking the jab and they're just not hungry.
Yeah.
And they want smaller portions, so they're sharing plates and they're not eating as much. And we need to get back to getting fat, guys. So I asked, and that was in England. So I asked some people around here, and they said, "Oh yeah, they're seeing it. That people are eating less, average bills less because people don't." I knew they started doing that to alcohol a few years ago, especially the younger kids.
Yeah,
were not the alcohol consumption per person is down a lot. On the younger kids, they see it as unhealthy or gaining weight or whatever, and now it's hitting the food. Pretty soon we have to start talking people into eating more calories.
I don't know. I think it sounds like a win-win. Everybody's healthier.
Oh well, yeah. You're just
if your potatoes aren't being sold, well, grow
you
something
obviously
else
don't
people
work
want.
for Lay's.
Yeah.
That's correct.
No, I haven't noticed those. I gotten older, I eat less. So Nicole and I are started going to. We'll order bigger meals and then we'll split it.
See, you're probably lumping you in with the Ozempic crowd.
Yeah, but I don't use.
You don't do it. You're not.
No.
Some doctors are starting to speak out against it, particularly on people over 50.
Mm-hmm.
And Dr. Boz was the first one that I saw do that. And I thought, oh no, they found some cancer or something. That's not it. They found out that you lose muscle when you do it.
Mm-hmm.
If you lose weight, unless you specifically work with your protein and work with stuff to not lose muscle, you're going to lose muscle.
Mm-hmm.
And people over 50 just don't really regain it like they should. So, and she showed a lot of pictures of some of the Hollywood type that have lost so much weight facially, they're drawn in and they get an Ozempic face.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they had a name for it.
Yeah.
But they do. And some people have gone so far that it's health risky health wise, and particularly on the older patients, because you're gaining muscle back. Is paramount, and it's kind of hard to do.
Yeah. Well, I figured out I can lose weight if I just eat less and eat better, and
that's so old school though.
But you get down to and it's like, okay, so I've kind of I'm in the middle ground now. I lost like 40 pounds by just eating, very strong stuff. And then it's like, okay, I'm tired of that. So I'm just going to kind of go in the middle. And that's where I'm at.
I've lost 35, but it's taken me 2 years.
Yeah. I lost 42 pounds in about 4 months.
That's a lot.
Yeah. And then I said, I like ice cream and I like all these other things. So
what flavor, Greg?
Mint chocolate chip.
My favorite.
Yeah.
And here's, when I don't usually have it in the house because I can't say no.
Eat it all.
Yeah, I do. I'll eat the whole thing in no time at all. I can just give it to me in a spoon. But when I had the heart surgery and Helen took me home as an outpatient. She says, "Can I get you anything?" I said, "Mint chocolate chip ice cream." and here's the thing about mint chocolate chip for my household. I'm the only one that likes it.
Oh,
there you go. It's a 5-gallon pail.
Yeah,
there you go.
I know.
I found when I started having ice cream in the freezer, I ate it.
Yeah,
and I started gaining weight.
I can't keep it.
I just have to not have it in the freezer.
If I had Nancy Pelosi's freezer, I wouldn't be able to get in the house after a while.
Yeah.
Because she's got that high tech ice cream, the high end stuff.
I know.
But I find that exercise helps too.
Yeah.
And if you keep on a substantial exercise program, doesn't have to be that much, but
golf is exercise.
Some aerobic and maybe some muscle exercise. That's what I'm doing now. And at least I'm not gaining weight. I think I'm losing a little, but it's really slow.
Yeah.
That 2 months I was recuperating from all that surgery and stuff really hurt me. I mean, I'm back in the gym.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling it now when I lift weights and stuff because I had laid so much time off. My muscles are screaming.
Yeah. They
but
will.
It'll be all right. I'll get through it.
You'll make it.
I'll get through it all. Our police department has armored vehicles. Now the first ones, if I remember right, and tell me if I'm wrong, it was something that came from like a military type vehicle.
I want to say they had, was it a Bearcat? Is that what it was?
Well, Bearcat's
Bearcat's,
one made specifically for police
yeah.
and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and they do now. But I if I remember right, they got one from a National Guard or
they're
something.
Something like, they're almost like armored
Or,
cars,
yeah.
something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Like a
Yeah.
military type vehicle.
Right.
It's not what they're driving now. Now the Bearcats are
Mhm.
made specifically for police officers and stuff like that for some reason.
Yeah.
There was one used in California, I guess yesterday, where an armed suspect opened fire on it. It's not a smart thing to do.
No.
Actually, this armed suspect had already killed an officer.
Oh,
Deputy
wow.
Randy Hopper, struck by gunfire. That was out in, and they were just doing a routine eviction. It's eviction. Somebody's didn't pay rent for 35 days. The police went by to give him a letter of, we're serious. You got to get out of here or pay up and do all that stuff.
And it wasn't a social worker.
Was not a social worker.
There you go.
Maybe if they had a social worker, everything would have been fine. But no.
Yeah, dead social worker.
So we have a police officer, and this guy that decided he was not going to leave, David Eric Morales. There was a standoff. He and gunfire back and forth, refused to surrender. He finally snuck out a window in camouflage uniform. They found him.
Yeah.
And he would not give up. He was laying on the ground, still shooting at officers. They brought in the Bearcat, and he died. And according to the police officers, he was not hit with bullets.
It's not smart.
That works. If you won't stop shooting, you might as well.
Yeah.
Test the 4-wheel drive, or I guess they have more than 4.
Yeah. Not so I don't know how they investigate that one. Is that a police procedure? Whatever means necessary.
It's the same as any kind of homicide. It is
Well,
a
it's not-
homicide, but it's a justified homicide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
According to the county sheriff there, Mike Bordeaux, don't shoot at cops. You shoot at cops, you're going to get run over.
Oh yeah.
He got run over. He got what he deserves.
Yep.
The suspect chose this ending.
I suspect alcohol or drugs.
Who knows? He definitely didn't have rent money, but that's kind of extreme.
Well,
Yeah.
if you are addicted to alcohol or drugs, a lot of times that's where the money goes.
This police chief sounds a little harsh. He just lost a deputy. I think he was pretty calm.
Yeah, you shoot at a law officer, you deserve
Yeah.
what you get.
It sounds rough, but
I'm okay.
if we, me too. But if we had more with that attitude versus this, send a social worker,
Yeah, I agree.
we wouldn't have the problem, or it would be shut down pretty quickly. But a police officer, and you never know, police officers, and they put themselves in harm's way every day, but it seems routine. You pull over a car, it's routine.
Mhm.
You serve a warrant, it's routine, all that. You never know when you're going to run into a David Eric Morales.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
Right.
It's a crapshoot.
Yeah.
It could be 1 out of 1,000, but you're going to do 1,000 in a career easy.
Mhm.
Well,
yeah.
and that's probably more like 1 out of 10,000 or
Probably.
100,000, because a lot of officers make several stops during a day.
Yeah.
So in a year, you probably have 1,000 stops. It's not unreasonable.
But these guys can't let their guard down.
Right.
Yeah. And it would be easy to do once it becomes routine and you've done it for 10 years.
Yeah.
But you never know. But I have no problems with them running the guy over.
No, I don't either. It's you don't want to risk anybody else, so you just
No.
run the Bearcat right up over him.
That's a heavy vehicle.
Well, and I've seen this happen with just ordinary police cars too.
Yeah. AOC, when Trump was going crazy, and that's what they call it, not me. When Trump was going crazy and said he's going to eliminate the regime, got to, put him back into the Stone Age and all that. Of course, there were so many that jumped up and saying, we need to get rid of Trump. he's lost his mind, or impeach him, or do the 25th Amendment and all that. Ocasio-Cortez is definitely one of them that jumped up right away. Now, after it looks like we got a somewhat of a ceasefire, whatever we call it, it's a ceasefire, but
Yeah.
it's not a very good one.
No.
But
We won't know till after Saturday. I think after Saturday we'll have a clear picture of if the talks are going and it's a ceasefire or
Trump
fight.
knows things we don't know, so we can't
Right.
completely second guess, but we can see what's happening and talk about it. But Cortez, after the ceasefire and all that, she did change her tune a little bit. She doubled down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't it amazing though?
Yeah.
No matter what.
It's from my perspective, Trump is doing the things a president should do.
Yeah.
He's being better, more effective at the job than I think any president I've seen,
Mhm.
certainly since Reagan. And even I think he's doing better than Reagan in a lot of ways because
Yeah.
he doesn't fear the media as much. And Reagan was good with the media, figuring out how to handle them.
Right. And the big thing that they talked about, he's bloodthirsty and he's going to do all this stuff. And then all of a sudden he does this ceasefire for 2 weeks. And then they start calling him Taco. Trump always
Right.
chickens out. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what he does.
It's the typical I win, you lose attitude on the left. No matter what anybody else does, they're wrong.
Yeah. And I think he's handling things,
He's
really
being calm.
right. Yeah. Very calm. It's like,
Relatively.
okay, let's see if we can do it diplomatic. Can't do that. Okay, fine. We're going to bomb the crap out of you. And it's like, okay, well, we've done that. Now we'll give you another chance to see if we can solve this diplomatically before
he seems more
take the
patient than I
last
remember. So there's something going on behind the scenes we don't know.
Well, I think, there's there's a lot of discussions. And one of the big thing is the reason they haven't knocked off these last few leaders is because they got to be able to talk to somebody, and
Yes.
and I think if Saturday doesn't go good, I think
We'll get a new leader.
yeah, well, they're back. They're on the list.
If you follow this, you can see that there are a number of people that they are not targeting.
Yeah.
And essentially all of the regular army cadre are not being targeted.
Right.
That's different than the IGRC.
Right now, it's kind of a civil war going on where you've got armed Iranians going after each other because some of them thought we shouldn't have gone on a ceasefire. Some thought we should. So they're kind of fighting each other.
Mhm.
You got the normal citizens that have taken over quite a few towns, actually, and burned police cars and motorcycles and stuff. And they're doing it publicly.
Yeah.
Doesn't get a lot of news, but it's all out there. And I'm thinking, well, did Trump know that's going to happen? I know Trump is probably, or at least I heard he was feeding some weapons to some of the civilians.
Mhm.
I don't know how they do that, but I'm sure they have ways.
Well, there's people on the ground. I mean,
Yeah.
the CIA and the Mossad, and they
You
all
have separatist
yeah.
groups,
Yeah.
the Kurds and other various groups within Iran feel they've been treated badly and they want their own
Yeah.
region or more of a say.
And this Tosi guy that is doing the blog, he was telling the Iranian people, because they are getting some internet. He says, now's not the time. Don't protest. Don't protest. You'll just get shot. Don't protest. But now he's changed his tune.
Okay.
It's been 6 days. It's been so many days. He goes through the days. He says, now's the time.
Ah.
And they're doing it.
Mhm.
And apparently these police forces use a lot of motorcycles. They've figured out how to beat them. They realize when they go by, push them over and then burn them.
Well, and that might be one of the reasons for the ceasefire, to let the people rise up.
I
in
don't
some
know.
of these rural cities and
I
stuff.
Or
thought
Trump's
that might
lucky.
be a-
Maybe
might
he's
be a
just lucky.
rationale.
Yeah. Well, maybe.
But is there enough, and is it going to go for it? Nobody knows. I mean, I don't know.
No.
Maybe Trump knows more than we do on how much
Well,
is in
I would
place.
hope he would.
I
For
think
sure
so.
he does, but
Maybe.
yeah, but I don't
Those-
know what's going to happen here. But that may be part of the equation. I don't know.
Yeah. That's because I can't believe he's being calm about the Hormuz that's not open. That's a big deal to him. It's a big deal to all these other countries.
Yeah.
That we got to get oil through there.
The more chaos inside Iran, the more incentive for somebody to come to the negotiating table.
Everybody tried to negotiate so far, though, has been dead. Who wants to negotiate next?
Well, I think he hasn't targeted that particular leadership that's been willing to go to the negotiating table.
Yeah.
I saw two people. I don't remember their names. I probably couldn't pronounce their names anyway, but I saw two people that were going to be on the negotiating side for Iran and Pakistan. So I saw those two guys, and one was the media guy that's you've seen on some clips.
Okay.
They're making statements and stuff.
My understanding is they're putting the negotiations off a little bit, which is typical Iran.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they
Make
try to
promises and then don't
delay.
show up.
Yeah. Well, if they don't show up, then I think
Well, they say they're not
Fight's
coming.
on.
They tell them you're not coming. Well, we
Yeah.
can't make it right now because we're not satisfied with this
yeah,
yet.
fight's on.
I thought it would have been by now. I thought it would have been by now. We're out of time, guys. I
Oh.
appreciate it. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
We didn't take much of any breaks, but
No,
well,
no, we didn't. So because it was fun.
I'll be back. It was a blast. Thanks, guys. I'll be back on Monday.